What is up, Skeeters Nation? Welcome to the 9th season of Sugarland Skeeters Baseball here at Constellation Field. The grass is green, the sun is out, and meaningful baseball will be played here tonight, folks. It is opening day. We've got an absolutely gorgeous Texas afternoon on our hands here as your defending Atlantic League champion Sugarland Skeeters open up their 2019 campaign against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. We are just moments away from first pitch as right-hander Mitch Talbot is set to make his second straight opening day start for the Skeeters. He'll be opposed by longtime Blue Crabs right-hander Daryl Thompson. The ballpark, I'm telling you right now, it's absolutely buzzing tonight as fans have made their way in, collecting their replica championship rings. It's going to be just about a sellout here tonight at Constellation Field. Hello there, I am Ryan Posner, and it is my honor to take the reins of the Skeeters broadcast this year. You might have heard me a little bit last year doing some color commentary from time to time, but I will be driving the ship this season, and it's a privilege to be able to document what I'm telling you looks to be another amazing season on hand of Skeeters baseball here at Constellation Field. Well, why not start with the obvious? Last year, your Skeeters went on to win the 2018 Atlantic League Championship, their second title in the last 3 seasons. Since they joined the Atlantic League in 2012, they are the only team along with the Long Island Ducks to win 2 titles in that span. So they've joined the league. We've made our imprint pretty quickly here. We took the Barnstormers down in 5 games last year and then also took the Ducks down in 5 games. It was obviously one of the more amazing playoff experiences you could absolutely ask for, and some memories here made here at Constellation Field we'll remember for a lifetime. As you guys have probably heard, things are going to be just a little bit different this year. There are a few rule changes, and let's go over them just real quick while we got a second. In a partnership with Major League Baseball and the Atlantic League, there are going to be rule changes, and in exchange, the Atlantic League is going to have some extra technology in our hands this year in the form of TrackMan radar. This is a technology that's used at the Major League level to scout players, and now we're going to have it at our hands here at Constellation Field. Some of the rule changes, let's go over them real quick, starting with the fact that not today, but at some point this season, there's going to be an automated strike zone. TrackMan is a computer that's located here behind me upstairs in the Insperity Club. It's a camera, it's a radar system. It'll be calling balls and strikes instead of having a traditional home plate umpire. Let's keep going down the list here. No more mound visits by coaches or players. The only time you can visit the mound is due to an injury or a pitching change. Pitchers must face a minimum of 3 batters now as well. So when a pitcher comes in, unless the inning is over, they must face at least 3 batters. You're going to look at the bases tonight. They might look a little bit different. Yeah, they're a little bit bigger. The bases grew in size. They're 15 inches square. Now they're 18 inches square. Another rule change here. You see a lot of shifting in Major League Baseball. No longer in the Atlantic League. There's no more shifting. 2 infielders must be on each side of second base when a pitch is released. If not, the umpire is going to call a dead ball, and the pitch will be reset. The time between innings, this one you may not notice as much. 2:05 is what we're usually at. It's going to be down to 1:45. And this rule change was a little bit controversial, but it is not going to be happening this season as we move to the second half of next season, and that is the mound will be moving back from 24 inches. The mound will be moving back 12 inches next year in the second half of the season. Sorry there. Got a little confused. There's a lot of rules. As you can tell, I'm still stumbling over them, but we'll get them down. It's going to be a great season here with the Skeeters. Let's go over some of the returners from last year's championship roster. While we got a second, guys like Dallas Beeler, Albert Cordero, Anthony Jansanti, right-hander Lucas Irvin, right-hander Felipe Paulino, outfielder Dennis Phipps, right-hander Danny Reynolds, infielder Alvar Rondon, Juan Severio, the man on the mound tonight, Mitch Talbot, right-hander Connor Wade, and right-hander Matt West are all back from last season's championship team. So a lot of returnees for Pete Gavilia in his second season with the Skeeters. And let's stick with Inky for a second. Inky joined Sugarland last year as his first year as a manager. Gary Gaetti, the former big leaguer as well, with the Skeeters for the first 6 seasons of their existence. Last year, Inky in his first season won the Atlantic League Manager of the Year, also leading the team to a title. We had 14 players have their contracts purchased, which was a franchise record. So pretty much couldn't have written up a better start for Inky in his first season. And I'm sure, knowing the kind of fiery competitor he is, he's only going to be looking for more this year. There are going to be some new faces, though, and let's look over some of those guys. A guy that's gotten a lot of publicity so far, that's James Loney, the former Los Angeles Dodgers first baseman. Also, most people around these parts might know him as the first baseman and pitcher for Elkins High School when they won a 5A Texas State title back in 2002. Another Houston native here as well, and an 11-year Major League veteran, that's Mark Lowe. He pitched at Fort Bend Baptist Academy, just right around the corner here from Constellation Field. Longtime reliever, pitched in a couple World Series with the Rangers, so excited to have him on board. Another Major League veteran, and Cody Ashe. He's in the lineup tonight, longtime Phillies infielder and outfielder. So some more major leaguers. Pete, never afraid to add and keep on adding talent to this team. And as you can see last year, he was losing talent and gaining it right back. And so we're just moments away here. I'm going to turn it over to Shane Brown, our public address announcer, here in a moment. I'm just going to let you guys enjoy our ring ceremony as all the players from last year's team are going to receive their rings. And I got mine already. I'm going to tell you that thing is pretty sweet. And that was my first year working for a baseball team last year, and I came home with one of those. And I got to say, when the players see theirs, I think they're going to be pretty impressed. It's an exciting thing. I've been told many times these don't come around too often. So when you get them, you cherish the moment, and these players are going to get to cherish that moment here very shortly. Well, a little bit about me, as I mentioned, Ryan Posner here. I'm going to be your play-by-play broadcaster this year. I'm going to be driving the ship as we navigate another season of Sugarland Skeeters baseball. Last year was my first season with the Skeeters. I came on as a media relations intern and did a little color commentary. And now I'm getting the reins to the full broadcast here. I come from San Diego, California, a long ways away from here. The last summer was a little bit difficult for me as I was navigating the waters of the Texas summer. I went to San Diego State for college. Grew up a very big Padres fan. You guys can't see in the broadcast booth. I'll do a little theater of the mind here. I have many Padre bobbleheads sitting next to me. I grew up a very big Padres fan. Guys like Tony Gwynn, Greg Vaughn, Trevor Hoffman. They are all sitting next to me here, and that's a little bit about me. I'm also a little bit on the younger side, so I do embrace some of the more newer stats in baseball. You might catch me talking about on base percentage a little bit too much, and I like the new stats, I like the old stats. I just like all stats, so bear with me. I know that a lot of people don't like the new changes with a lot of the stats that are used, but I will try to do my best to mix in all of those, all the new and the old. And we're still waiting on this ring ceremony to start. Like I said, I'm going to turn it over to Shane Brown whenever that does start. But let's look at some of the records last year the Skeeters broke in 2018, just to give you an idea of what kind of season we had here and how many amazing memories we made. So let's start. 81 wins last year. The team went 81-45. Those were the second most wins in a single season in team history. And keep in mind, the team only played 126 games last year compared to the regular 140 game schedule we're going to play this year. Now that the High Point Rockers have joined the league. Let's go to the next one. The team went 52-21 at home. Those 52 wins were the most home wins in a single season. So fans were treated to some good baseball here at Constellation Field, and I'm sure that's going to happen again this year. 14 contracts, as we mentioned, were purchased by outside pro baseball organizations, 12 of them by major league organizations, and that was also a franchise record. We actually already have had one player get his contract purchased this year. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the broadcast. James Russell, not on this year's roster, but a very integral piece to the pitching staff last year. James became the first player in Skeeters history to win the Atlantic League ERA title, had a 2.36 ERA, which happened to also be the lowest single-season ERA in team history. The records keep on coming. I still got a few left. Matt Chavez last year, the first baseman, he also no longer on the team, but made a pretty big impression here on the folks in Sugarland. He hit 320 last year. That was the highest single-season batting average in team history. Moving down the line, Felipe Paulino, another guy who is on the team this year, one of the most dominant closers in the Atlantic League. And, I mean, if you look at the numbers, he pretty much was one of the most dominant closers in baseball. When you look at a guy who pretty much went the entire year with a sub-1 ERA. Felipe had 33 saves last year. That was the most single-season saves in Skeeters history in a season. So 33 from Felipe, and you know what? I wouldn't put it past him to get 34 and maybe even 40 this year. We'll see, but I'm not penciling that one. And I think he's got a chance to break that record this year. And last but certainly not least, Anthony Jansanti had one of the most impressive seasons in Skeeters history. Our 2018 MVP. He had 17 home runs and 35 stolen bases. He was the only player in our team history who had at least 15 home runs and 30 stolen bases in a single season. So the power and the speed was on display with Anthony, and we are still waiting on this ring ceremony to start. So while talking about Anthony, a few guys, let's go over some of the disabled list guys to start the year. Anthony, unfortunately, on the disabled list to start the year, so he will not be here tonight. The captain, as we call him around here, Captain Sugarland, he'll start the year on the disabled list, but I think not before too long, we'll hear his name called out here at Constellation Field. A few more guys. Right-hander Jeff Johnson's going to start the year on the disabled list. Right-hander Danny Reynolds, a name you're familiar with. He began the season with us last year and got picked up by the Milwaukee Brewers. He will also be on the disabled list to begin the year. And left-hander Cesar Cabral, he will be on the inactive list to begin the year. But let's focus on the guys. Let's turn into a little happier tune here. The guys that we do have. The Skeeters have 14 former Major Leaguers on opening day roster. We mentioned a few of them. Guys like Cody Ashe, right-hander Alec Asher, who was with the Brewers last year. Right-hander Dallas Beeler, a guy we're familiar with, Atlantic League All-Star last season. Right-hander Andrew Bellotti, a former Rays right-hander. He's going to be coming out of the bullpen. We mentioned James Loney and Mark Lowe, another pair of big leaguers. Michael Marriott, welcome back to Sugarland. He'll be coming out of the Skeeters bullpen this year. He joined us later last year. Kevin McGowan, right-hander, used to pitch for the Mets. He will be with us this year. Felipe Paulino, obviously, one of the more grizzled veterans on the team, former Astro as well. Dennis Phipps, the outfielder, hit his last game he played in the Skeeters uniform. He had a home run with us in Game 5 of the Atlantic League Championship Series. He is back as well. Josh Prince, welcome back as well. Another guy who he took a year off with us last year. He spent some time with the Arizona Diamondbacks minor league system, the all-time single-season leader in Skeeters stolen bases. Josh Prince will be our hitting coach, and he's starting at second base tonight. Catcher Cody Stanley going to be behind the plate. Not tonight, but he is a former Cardinals backstop, and another former Major Leaguer. Mitch Talbot, he'll be on the bump tonight, former Cleveland Indians, Tampa Bay Rays right-hander. And last but not least, going alphabetical order, Matt West, the Houston native, played for the Rangers and the Dodgers, also a former Major Leaguer. Well, looks like we are just about ready for the ring ceremony to start, and you've heard enough yapping out of me for right now, and this is an exciting time. Like we said, these just don't come around that often, and Pete Gavili, he made his impression felt. It's an exciting era of Skeeters baseball. 2 championships in the last 3 years. Our president, Christopher Hill, and our owner, Bob Zlotnick, are sitting right here on foul territory with Mayor Brent Zimmerman also here as they're getting ready to address the crowd and give out some rings. So I'm just going to turn the crowd mic on and let you guys listen to the excitement. And we'll be back around 7:05. We'll go over to some starting lineups, the pitching matchups, defensive positions, and hey, we got some baseball to be called here tonight. I'm Ryan Posner. We'll be back here at 7:05. Like I said, you're listening to the Skeeters Baseball Broadcast Network.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the mayor with his very own championship ring. If you would, please welcome Sugarland Skeeters President Chris Hill, along with his Zlotnick family, Bob, Marcy, Kevin, his wife Lauren, and Mitch. Mayor Zimmerman, congratulations. And ladies and gentlemen, not only do we look forward to a great 2019 campaign, but tonight we and ladies and gentlemen, your Sugar Land Skeeters are the Atlantic League champions. And of course, fans, the championships come rings. And now it is time to give out those rings to all of the support, coaches, manager, and players of the Sugar Land Skeeters. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Memorial Hermann Medical Group, team physician Dr. Joseph Mantola. Skeeters head team orthopedics with UT Orthopedics, Dr. Michelle Shaw. Team massage therapist for the Sugar Land Skeeters, Mahani Maldonado, a genuine touch massage clinic. He's been with the Skeeters since 2014, working since 2018. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome team trainer Mr. Max Mahaffey. Max was the recipient of the Service of Excellence Award presented to a member of the SMNR ambulatory staff. Nominations are made and then voted on by a designated group, and obviously the group felt that Max was very worthy of this award. Those of us in this area know that Max's dedication to Skeeters, as well as his efforts to Dr. Johnny at Bill's office, are well represented. Thanks, Max, for representing Memorial Hermann the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Max Mahaffey. Also welcome to the Memorial Hermann Sports Medicine Industry entering his fourth season with the Skeeters, assistant athletic trainer, Mr. Shane Butchett. And also with the Memorial Hermann Sports Medicine, Stephen Ramirez. Also receiving a ring tonight, Skeeters team travel secretary, Miss Debbie Heisey. Congratulations to you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our clubbies receiving their rings tonight. Entering his fifth year with the Skeeters is home clubhouse manager Ryan Biddle. Entering his third season with the Skeeters is visitors clubhouse manager Eric Biddle. Home clubhouse assistant Jacob Papa. Entering his season with the Skeeters visitors clubhouse assistant Jose Martinez. Ladies and gentlemen, entering his 8th season as the Skeeters lead that boy, welcome our man, Big Bud Garcia. In his first season with the Skeeters, ladies and gentlemen, he led the team to the second most wins in franchise history and their second Atlantic League championship. Welcome the 2018 Atlantic League Manager of the Year, Pete Incapilla. This man was busy last season, waving runners home all of last year. He's sure to be busy once again this season. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome third base coach Lincoln Young. Next up, you guys been with the Skeeters since the inception, taking care of the team's pitching staff while also playing from time to time. Ladies and gentlemen, bullpen coach, Mr. Jeff Allen. Ladies and gentlemen, this man was the 2018 Atlantic League All-Star in his first season with the Skeeters, also taking home the Atlantic League's June Pitcher of the Month. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dallas Wheeler. The longest tenured member of the Skeeters roster and the only player on this year's team that was a part of both Skeeters titles. Welcome back, Mr. Albert Cordero. Next up is the Skeeters 2018 MVP. He'll be entering his third season with the team. First player in Skeeters history to don a captain's C patch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Anthony Cincinti. Appearing in his third season with the Skeeters last year, this right-hander posted a 1.9 ERA from 24 relief appearances. Please welcome back Mark Page. Entering his second season with the Skeeters, he went 1-0 with a 2.89 ERA and 2 postseason starts last year. Welcome back, Lucas Herman. And in his first year with the Skeeters, he set the team's let's try that again. The team's single season record with an astounding, check this out, 33 saves, as well as being selected to the All-Star game. Ladies and gentlemen, Felipe Paulino. This man built in a home run in Game 5 of the Atlantic League Championship Series and was a mainstay in the outfield during his first year in Sugarland. Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Gibbs. This young man stole a team leading 38 bases in his first season with the Skeeters. He's voted the team's Community Man of the Year. It is Alvaro Marco. In his first season with the Skeeters, collected a franchise record 14 hits through 10 postseason games. Welcome back, Mr. Juan Cilario. He got an opening day nod last season, went 2-1 before having his contract purchased by the Cleveland Indians. Entering his third year with the Skeeters, Mitch Talbot. For the Skeeters and innings pitched in his first rookie team to a shutout in the Atlantic League Championship Series. Big time in the postseason, Mr. Conway. Playing corner reliever in Houston David, he allowed just 3 runs in 17 appearances last year. Please welcome Matt West. Also on the mound last year was one of the hurlers for the Sugarland Skeeters. Welcome, Michael Marriott. And his grand slam in Game 5 of the Freedom Division Championship Series sent the Skeeters into the championship in iconic fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Tony Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your Atlantic League champion, Sugarland Skeeters! And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the best mascot in the Atlantic League. You know we wouldn't forget him, receiving his championship ring. Let's do it for Swanson!
I'm going to go see if I can find that hat. Yeah, if they got Colebrook, I will. But you want grab me one. I don't think you're $2. Take you back later. Let's stand it out, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to introduce tonight's teams. First up, for you visiting Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field their athletic trainers, Lauren Ack. Reserve players for the Blue Crabs, number 32, Wilfredo Vasquez. Number 25, Ryan Chappie. Number 48, Brandon Compton. Number 38, Adam Topper. Leighton. Number 28, Raj Muhammad. Number 37, Miguel Nunez. Number 11, John Ritchie. Number 44, Frank Sino. Number 17, Tommy Thorpe. Number 2, Mike Olsani. Number 6, Kent Blackstone. Number 10, Matt Dean. Number 4, Ryan Hearing. Number 7, Josh McAdams. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the Southern Maryland Blue Rams. Hitting off and playing center base, number 15, Curtis Dean. Batting second and playing right field, number 12, Rudy Silva. Batting third and playing third base, number 19, Frank Martinez. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 24, Rick Lennox. Batting fifth, and playing first base, number 13, John Griffin. Batting sixth, doing catching and great, Charles Valerio. Batting seventh, playing left field, number 23, Tony Thomas. Batting eighth, center fielder, number 27, Henry Bond. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 9, Edwin Garcia. Starting pitcher for Southern Maryland is Darryl Thompson. The hitting coach, Frank Lennox. Pitching coach, Darryl Thompson. Third base coach, Skeeters Yoshida. The bench coach, Joe Walsh. And the manager of the Southern Maryland Blue Rams is Stan Wyburn. Ladies and gentlemen, the Southern Maryland Blue Rams. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field your defending Atlantic League champion, Sugarland Skeeters! Clubhouse managers Eric and Ryan Hill, the trainer, Max Mahaffey. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the reserves, Alec Asher, Dallas Beeler, Andrew Pelati, Caesar Duffall. Number 38, Kevin Comer. Number 22, James Dykstra. Number 16, Lucas Urban. Number 28, Jeff Johnson. Number 23, Mark Roll. Number 19, Michael Marriott. Number 30, Kevin McGowan. Number 15, Roy Merritt. Number 39, Felipe Paulino. Number 14, Danny Reynolds. Number 11, Connor Wade. And number 19, Matt West. Number 12, Cody Stanley. Number 25, Jason Martinson. Number 6, Aurora Rondo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Sugarland Skeeters. Leading on the playing center field, number 2, Jared Mitchell. Playing second, playing center base, number 7, Josh Prince. Playing third, playing left field, number 24, Cody Atchey. Playing fourth, shortstop, number 10, Ryan Cook. Playing fifth, playing first base, number 17, James Loney. Batting third, batting sixth, and playing third base, number 27, Juan Silverio. Batting seventh, moving catching number 3, Albert Cordero. Batting eighth, designated hitter number 29, Dennis Fitz. And playing ninth and playing right field number 4, CJ McElroy. And going down and out, starting pitcher number 20, Rich Topaz. The bullpen coach, Chuck Allen. Third base coach, Lincoln Downs. Pitcher coach, Roy Merritt. Hitting coach is Josh Prince. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the manager of your Sugarland Skeeters Sylvan Middle School.
This is Marcy Lockett, president of the Sugarland Skeeters Baseball Foundation, and I've got some great scoop. It's our new nightly 50-50 raffle. It's your chance to get rich or donate drugs. On behalf of the youth of Fort Bend County, thank you so much for playing. Each Skeeters home game, you will have a chance to win big. Just look for any of our raffle sellers throughout the state.
Welcome back into the Skeeters broadcast booth. Ryan Posner here once again. Hope you guys enjoyed that ring ceremony, and I think I touched on it a little bit, man. Last year was my first year in baseball, and they told me when you get one of those things, you get a ring, you cherish that baby because you just don't know when the next one's going to come. And last year, a lot of us were in our first year with the Skeeters. We had a pretty new roster. We had a new manager. They had a new media relations intern. That was me, and it was just an amazing season from start to finish. One of the better teams of independent baseball in general. I mean, you have 30 former major leaguers pass through here last year, and the people I don't think they realize how great the baseball really is in the Atlantic League. I mean, this year it's going even better. I mean, the way that the baseball MLB free agency is going, the more guys are trickling down here that you just would never expect to have to go to the independent ranks. And there's my ramble right there. Let's get into the game tonight. We got baseball to be played here. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. I see you guys in the YouTube comment section. Let me know if you ever got any questions. If you ever just have any comments, I will respond to them. I see you guys out there, and I'm more than welcome to be responsive to you guys out there. Appreciate you listening here as the Skeeters are getting ready to play the Blue Crabs here. We're about 5-10 minutes away from first pitch. So with that being said, why don't we get you the lineup here for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. They'll be leading off tonight. Leading off for those Blue Crabs playing second base is going to be Angelise Nina. Over in right field and batting second, Ruby Silva. At the hot corner and batting third, Frank Martinez. Craig Maddox is going to be the DH. He'll hit cleanup. He'll bat cleanup. Yes, I had that correctly. Batting fifth, John Griffin will be at first base. Charlie Valerio, he's going to do the catching duties tonight. Familiar face, I mean, I'm sure he'll get a standing ovation. I sure hope he does. Tony Thomas, he'll be playing left field tonight for those Blue Crabs. Batting eighth, center fielder Corey Vaughn, also with the Blue Crabs last year. And Edwin Garcia, he'll be batting ninth and playing shortstop. And on the mound for the Blue Crabs, that'll be Daryl Thompson. And let's take a look at how your Skeeters going to line them up here for opening day. Let's start left field, shall we? Cody Ashley will play left field. Over in center field, that'll be Jared Mitchell. Over in right field, the Houston native CJ McElroy. Juan Silverio, man, that hot corner once again. He'll be at third base. Ryan Court, all rise. He'll be over at shortstop. Josh Prince, the stolen base king, over at second base. The Houston native Elkins High School, Missouri City, James Loney. He'll be at first base. And Albert Cordero behind the plate here as Mitch Talbot will be making his second straight opening day start for the Skeeters. Let's dive into that pitching matchup, shall we? Mitch Talbot, he was phenomenal with the Skeeters. He was here for a good time, not a long time. He was 3-1 with a 1.93 ERA in his 5 starts. Was picked up by the Cleveland Indians, where he went on to go 4-5 with the 2.52 ERA for AAA Columbus with the Indians. Kind of shocking he never got that call back up there to the bigs, former big leaguer himself. But phenomenal season for Mitch, and we're sure to be happy to have him back here over there for the Blue Crabs. Daryl Thompson, a guy that's pretty much a mainstay institution here with the Blue Crabs. He's making his 360th start for the Blue Crabs, and he's made 138 appearances, 131st in the Atlantic League. So a guy that very familiar with Southern Maryland. We saw him here a few times last year. Pete Incaviglia and Stan Clyburn, the new manager for the Blue Crabs, they're out exchanging lineup cards here at home plate, and I gotta say, it's a beautiful sight where I sit here in the broadcast booth every day in the off season, and there's just no baseball being played. And today, I sit here and I'm about to be able to call a baseball game to you guys, and it's certainly my honor to do that. And with that being said, we're going to go into a few commercials real quick. First pitch is just around the corner at 7:15 now here at Constellation Field. The shadows are starting to creep. The sun's beginning to set. The lights are on. It's opening day, folks, here at Constellation Field. Sugar Land Skeeters baseball, the defending Atlantic League champions, are about to get going here. We are excited, and we'll be back here in just a second as we get ready for first pitch out here at Constellation Field.
Thank you, Shane. This is Emmy, and she is ready to get this 2019 season going. Emmy, take it away. Play ball!
Thank you for coming back. That was a quick break right there. We're still working with some Kings out here in the Skeeters broadcast commercials, as you sure heard. We're gonna have a Game of Thrones night here. The Pete Incaviglia bobblehead and Albert Cordero making the throw down there to Josh Prince. We're just about to get going here as Angelis Nina hops into the batter's box. Mitch Talbot on the mound, and baseball is back here in Sugar Land, folks. The defending champion Sugar Land Skeeters just about to get things underway here. It is an exciting time out here at Constellation Field. As I mentioned earlier, the ballpark is absolutely buzzing. I mean, this place is absolutely packed. The people came out here for the Atlantic League Championship replica rings. And we're moments away from that coveted first pitch. I feel like the first pitch is important, and here it comes right now. And over for a strike. Strike one. Mitch Talbot gets it across. So the first pitch of the 2019 season is underway. The first pitch of this broadcast with me and Ryan Paws are underway as well, and Mitch Talbot working mighty quick out to a quick 0-2 count. And Nina lines it up the middle. That's going to get through for a base hit. So Angelis Nina opens his 2019 campaign with a base hit. Angelis Nina, fun fact about him actually last year. So last year, as I mentioned, was my first year in the broadcast. He actually opened the season with the New Britain Bees. He was the first guy I actually saw hit a home run out of Constellation Field. It took a few days. It was a kind of a slow start to the season home run wise, and he hit that first home run with the Bees out of here. Courtney Hawkins had a home run on opening day, but it was inside the park home run. So the first home run that I saw leave came from Nina while with the Bees. And that's the end of that anecdote right there. And that'll bring up Ruby Silva, the right fielder here for the Blue Crabs. First pitch from Talbot, a fastball swung on a miss. So Mitch, as we mentioned, got the opening day start last year. He picked up a win in that opening day start against the New Britain Bees through 5 innings. Allowed a run, which was unearned on 4 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. And Silva fouls that one back off the mask of Apple Cordero. So another quick 0-2 count for Mitch Talbot. He got Nina on 0-2 before he hit a ground ball back up the middle. So an interesting thing, I'm looking out at second base, and I was like, I see like a line or something out there. That line behind second base, you might not see it on the feed right now. You might have saw it when Nina singled. That's the line where you cannot shift over on. So that is where the fielders cannot move to the right of that line. That's helping that rule, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the no shifting rule. As the 0-2 for Mitch Talbot, slider swung on a miss. So 1 down here in the first. Mitch Talbot picks up the first strikeout of the season, gets Ruby Silva down swinging, 1 away. And stepping into the box for the Blue Crabs is going to be the third baseman, Frank Martinez, who spent last year with these Blue Crabs. This is going to be his 15th professional season. He hit .321 last year with the Blue Crabs, which was a professional career high. You're going to hear the music in the background tonight. We got DJ Teddy, a Houston legend. I'm not afraid to say it. She is a Houston legend. You probably see her at Texans games. She does DJing around town. She's out at the Bud Light Ice House tonight, and she's kind of bringing that beat here on opening day, kind of that vibe that you want. Opening the season, it's an exciting time. So shout out to DJ Teddy doing her thing as Martinez fouls that one back. So Mitch Talbot, as you mentioned last year, spent a little bit of time with the Skeeters. He made 5 starts with us. He was phenomenal in those 5 starts, 3-1, then 193 ERA, then got picked up by the Cleveland Indians. And the fastball there to Martinez just misses outside. 2-1 the count here to Martinez as we're here at the top of the first. It's opening day, folks. It's opening day. It's an exciting time here. Replica rings passed out. We're here in the top of the first inning between the Skeeters and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And Martinez lines that one in the gap in left field. That one's going to get down, and it's going to get in the wall in the left center gap. Third base coach rounding Nina home. Nina is on his way home. The cutoff will not come in. So Angelis Nina will score an RBI double from Frank Martinez. Will get the first run of this season underway. Blue Crabs take a 1-0 lead. Martinez does a nice job just taking what he got. He got an outside fastball there and lined it in the left center gap in between Jared Mitchell out there in center and Dennis Phipps out there in left. Cody Ashley out there in left, rather. Ball got all the way to the wall, and Angelis Nina came in to score rather easily. So 1-0 lead for the Blue Crabs here with 1 away in the top of the first inning. First pitch to Craig Maddox. The DH is chopped back to Talbot. He'll fire over to Loney. Easy out. So 2 away now. Nice rebound there from Mitch Talbot. Gets Maddox, the DH, to chop out. So 2 away. 1 run in here in the top of the first. John Griffin, the first baseman, he's going to come into the batter's box. John Griffin, a former farmhand of the Arizona Diamondbacks, was drafted out of the University of Central Florida. Whenever I think of Central Florida, I think of Blake Bortles. I don't know why that is, but That is the way my brain works. You're going to get a little bit of insight on how the brain of Ryan Posner works this year. First pitch in there from Talbot misses low and in for ball one. So Mitch, I mean, Mitch did not allow. He only run one in his first 2 starts last year. He's going to let up a run early on here as that one's fouled right back into the screen for strike one on the first baseman, John Griffin. So Talbot got the start last year, and he picked up the win in that start and ended up spurring a 7-game winning streak for the Skeeters, which was the longest winning streak to open a season in team history. He kind of just got things going. Connor Wade's going to get the start tomorrow, another guy returning to the rotation as that slider misses outside. So 2-1 the count to John Griffin, the first baseman for the Blue Crabs. Griffin joined the Blue Crabs in the middle of last season. Added 11 home runs in 71 games, which was second on the team. Griffin fouls that one off to the right side, going to get an disparity club level. You didn't see it bounce back, so somebody made a nice catch up there. Kudos to you. So 2s are wild here. 2-2 the count to John Griffin. 2 outs here in the top of the first. 1 run in for the Blue Crabs. Runner on third base here. Pitch to Griffin. Coco wanted to fire over there down to third base to Silverio just to pump fake. So that'll ball missed inside. Going to bring the count to full. So full count here to the first baseman, John Griffin. Outfield playing pretty straight up, pretty deep out there in right field is C.J. McElroy. The 3-2 pitch. Griffin pops that up toward the first base side of foul territory. Mitch Talbot on the run. Oh, makes a dive and not able to come up with it. As Talbot dove in there into the warning track toward the Skeeters dugout on the first base side. Looked like it kicked off the heel of his glove and just unable to make the play. Talbot got off there pretty quickly. That was a ball that almost, you could say, Loney at first base, Cordero behind the plate, and Talbot all had a good play at, but I think Mitch definitely had the best play there. Just seemed more lined up. It was right at the Windstream logo here on the right field side. So John Griffin gets new life here. 3-2 the count, 2 away here in the top of the first. Sun is just about set on the entire field here. I'm not kidding. There is like one cloud in the sky I see out there toward right center. It is an absolutely gorgeous night here, and I'm from California. I'm from Southern California, so when I'm telling you that, I'm not messing with you. This is one of the better nights we've had in a long time, and sure, it came on opening day. And here's the 3-2 from Talbot, misses away. So John Griffin going to work the walk here, keep things going in the first inning.
Next, number 8, Charlie Valerio.
And now into the box steps Charlie Valerio, the catcher tonight for the Blue Crabs. Valerio spent some time last year in the American Association with the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks. Played in 82 games with them. The American Association is another independent league, along with the likes of the Frontier League and the Canadian American Association. So 2 away, runners in the corners. Mitch Talbot on the mound. First pitch here to Valerio misses down as Cordero corrals a slider for ball 1.
Oh, today.
So last year, the New Britain Bees came into town to open the season, and they did not have a spring training, so their offense was a little bit sluggish. So to see a run being scored here in the first inning is kind of a foreign concept for me, at least in the broadcast booth, as Valerio swings and misses the changeup there for strike 1. A little bit of Mitch Talbot. Mitch Talbot is a former major leaguer. He made his big league debut in September 2008 with the Tampa Bay Rays. That came against the Boston Red Sox. He allowed 4 runs on 5 hits and 3 innings of relief in his debut on that September 2008 game. And Valerio chops up over to Loney. He goes across the long way to court, and that'll do it. So the Blue Crabs do strike first here in the top of the first on the RBI double from Frank Martinez in the gap in left center. But your Skeeters coming to bat for the first time of the 2019 season. We'll be back in just a few.
Well, Shane, this is Braden, and he is ready to show us how fast he can run in the mascot race. All right, Braden, go ahead and take your spot there at first base. Swatson, are you ready over there? All righty, on your mark. Get set, go. And they are both off and running. Braden's making his way to second, and Swatson is moving slow. Swatson's hands are too heavy because now he has 2 championship rings on those fingers. And he is way too tired, and Braden is going to run right past him, not stop, and win the mascot race. Better luck next time, Swatson. Back up to you, Shane.
Leading off for your Sugarland Skeeters, center fielder number 2, Jared Mitchell.
I guess it's supposed to be black gold, black gold.
Welcome back to Constellation Field, folks. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs tacked on a run there in the top of the first, but that's no matter. Your Skeeters coming to bat for the first time of the 2019 season, and Jared Mitchell in the batter's box with Daryl Thompson on the hill, and Mitchell swings through a fastball for strike 1. Let's get you that Sugarland Skeeters lineup real quick. Batting leadoff is going to be Mitchell. In the 2-hole, Josh Prince. Batting third, Cody Ashe. Batting cleanup, Ryan Court. James Lona going to be batting 5th. Juan Severio 6th. Albert Cordero batting 7th. Dennis Phipps going to be batting 8th. And batting 9th is the League City native, Houston native, CJ McElroy, as Jared Mitchell took a ball low there while I was reading the lineup. So Jared Mitchell pops one up here at left field. That's going to bring back just a little bit left field on the warning track, and able to corral that is Tony Thomas. As Tony Thomas had to go back on that one a little bit extra. Nice opposite field power there from Jared Mitchell. But Thomas, the former Skeeter, able to corral it, and that's going to be one away here in the bottom of the first. As we mentioned, the Blue Crabs scored a run on 2 hits there in the top of the inning against Mitch Talbot. An RBI double from Frank Martinez. So welcome back to Sugarland, Josh Prince, the all-time leader in stolen bases for the Sugarland Skeeters. Spent last year mostly with AA Jackson for the Arizona Diamondbacks in their minor league system. As the first pitch from Thompson misses low and away for ball 1. I mean, that season from Prince back in 2017 from a stolen bases standpoint was pretty ridiculous. He's the all-time leader with 79 career stolen bases. Pitch number 2 is in there for a strike on the outside corner from Thompson. And the check swing, he did not go around, so 2-1 now to Josh Prince, the Skeeters' second baseman. So Josh was a member of that 2016 Atlantic League Championship season when the Skeeters won their first title, as that one's popped up to the right side. Angeles Nino ranging. He'll give way to Ruby Silva there. And with that, that's going to bring up the former major leaguer, Cody Ashe, making his Skeeters debut tonight. Cody Ashe, another one of those guys where you talk about guys who you're just very lucky to have for a little bit. I mean, I'm sure Cody will not be around for a long time. This is going to be, it says, first season with the Skeeters, 9th at the professional level. Spent most of last year between the AAA levels with Las Vegas, which is a New York Mets affiliate, and Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the Yankees affiliate for AAA. As the first pitch to Ashe is in there for a strike at the knees. Ashe spent a good amount of time with the Phillies. Made his major league debut with them back in 2013. Thompson working quickly here, the fastball across for a strike, so 0-2 the count to Ashe here, 2 away in the bottom of the first. The Blue Crabs holding a 1-0 lead early on against the Sugarland Skeeters, the 2018 Atlantic League champions. And the 0-2 Ashe foul was back off the left side off the screen. Shout out to our grounds crew. That beautifully painted SL logo you see behind home plate where the Bat Boys retrieving the ball was painted by them this morning. Fine job. Ryan Court, the shortstop on deck if Ashley was able to extend the inning. So 0-2 here to the former Philadelphia Philly infielder. And Ashley fouls another one back. So we saw Jared Mitchell show some opposite field power here in the first as he brought Tony Thomas back to the wall under the Jericho sign there in left field. Cody Ashley actually had an opposite field home run. It was back in the second spring training game we had here at Constellation Field against Alvin Junior College. So he's got that opposite field power for sure as Thompson misses up and away. So ball one here. So Darryl Thompson back-to-back Atlantic League All-Star selection. That's a tongue twister. 3-time Atlantic League All-Star. And Ashley fouls that one off to the right side near the Skeeters dugout. Alvaro Rondon going to retrieve it. Alvaro not in the lineup tonight, but a very, very welcome face to see back here. Alvaro, one of literally the fastest people I've ever seen in my life. When he catches top speed, it's something to behold. And now we have TrackMan radar. It's not up just yet, but it will be up here very shortly. And we'll actually get to see just how fast Alvaro Rondon is. And I'm just going to guess it's pretty fast. And that one's inside to Cody Ashley. He is hit with that one there on the arm on the fastball from Thompson, so he will take his base. And Thompson hits him on a 1-2 count. Pete Incaviglia going to step out. That one hit him right on the forearm, it looked like, and that is not a spot with a lot of muscle or anything really on it, so that'll hurt. And Max Mahaffey, our trainer, is actually going to take a peek at him real quick. Yeah, that 1-2 count there, the fastball, Ashley didn't really do much to get out of the way of it, taking one for the team, as they would usually say, and getting hit in the forearm. I was a high school baseball player back in the glory days. I got hit a few times there. It's that's a place where you really don't want to get hit. There's a few places that hurt a little bit less, but that's not one of them. The forearm is a pretty painful spot. But looks like he's going to be okay as Max and Pete head back to the dugout. Cody Ashley on first base here. 2 away in the bottom of the first on opening day here at Constellation Field. Your Atlantic League champion Sugar Land Skeeters opening things against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And Ryan Court going to step to the dish here, the starting shortstop tonight for the Skeeters. First pitch to Court is in there for a strike on the fastball. Court spent last year with AAA Iowa for the Chicago Cubs. Hit .262 with a .362 on base. Hit 11 home runs and 62 ribbies to go in 114 games. Oh, 1 to Court, misses inside, so 1-1 now the count. Cody Ashley on base here via the hit by pitch. Blue Crabs holding a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first with 2 away. Ashley, the first base runner for the Skeeters this season. Came a little hard with the hit by pitch, but on first nonetheless. The 1-1 to Court. Fouls that back. So last night I had to MC the Meet the Team event here. We had that event for some people around Sugar Land, whoever wanted to stop by and meet some of the people on the team. And I had to ask Ryan, he's an Illinois native. He's born in Elgin, Illinois, went to Illinois State, playing for the Cubs last year, how that went. And he said, well, the Cubs released me, so now I am a White Sox fan. I don't know if that's actually true. We'll see. I think he's still a Cubs fan. I saw a story that he went to their World Series parade in 2016 when they won their World Series, ending a pretty long drought. And I thought that was pretty funny. You guys in Chicago, you do have 2 options there as far as the team to root for. And Court with the check swing, and home plate umpire will not even give a check down to first base. Court went around, and that's going to do it in the bottom of the first. So Cody Ashley reaches on the hit by pitch, but that's all the Skeeters get in the first. They trail 1-0 here in through 1. We'll head to the top of the second. You're listening to Sugar Land Skeeters Baseball. You are back listening live to Sugarland Skeeters baseball here, opening day in 2019, and stepping into the box for the Blue Crabs, a familiar face, and Tony Thomas. Mitch Talbot on the mound, first pitch in for a strike. Tony Thomas responsible for quite possibly the most memorable moment I've had as watching as a baseball fan. As Mitch Talbot gets second pitch here, he'll ground a chopper off to the left side, out of play. Wants to be able to grab that. I mean, Tony Thomas's grand slam in Game 5 of the Freedom Division Championship Series. I've watched a lot of baseball, but I will tell you that was the coolest thing I've ever watched as a baseball fan. Sent the Skeeters into the Atlantic League Championship Series. So a walk-off home run, kind of the Joe Carter of home runs here in the Atlantic League. Joe Carter obviously with this walk-off home run with the Blue Jays back in '92. There's a connection to that with Pete Gavilia, but I'll save that for a later broadcast. We've got a long season here. We've got 70 games of baseball I'll be bringing to you here at Constellation Field on a daily basis. The 0-2 count here to Mitch Talbot to Tony Thomas. He fouls another one off toward his dugout on the left side. So 0-2 to Tony Thomas as the Blue Crabs hold on to a 1-0 lead over the Skeeters. An RBI double from Frank Martinez in the first inning got them on the board. Breaking ball low and away, Thomas does not offer, so 1-2 is the count now. The Blue Crabs donning a uniform that I did not expect to see, I'll be quite honest with you. They off a play of the Maryland state flag, they have the Maryland state flag kind of jersey going, kind of like the football team does at the University of Maryland, as Thomas swings and misses through that one. Strike 3, Mitch Talbot, first out of the inning here in the top of the second. So with one away here, in step into the box is center fielder Corey Vaughn. Spent some time with the Blue Crabs last year as well. I don't want to use all my bullets here early, but Corey Vaughn, there's a cool stat tidbit about him. Not even really stat tidbit. His father, Greg Vaughn, used to play for the Padres. And Mitch Talbot first pitched into Corey Vaughn and misses low and away for ball one. As I look to my right here in my broadcast booth, I am looking at a bobblehead of Greg Vaughn in a Padres uniform. So big fan of Greg Vaughn growing up. Son Corey Vaughn into the box now, looks at strike one. Corey Vaughn attended San Diego State, my alma mater as well. So we got a lot of connections, and I actually got to meet Corey last year. An awesome guy, very nice, very cordial, and that one misses inside. So 2-1 now, the count to Corey Vaughn. This is his third season in Southern Maryland. Led the team in home runs, walks, and runs scored last season with the Blue Crabs. Is in the Atlantic League Home Run Derby actually as well, as that one misses low. So Mitch Talbot put away Tony Thomas for the first out of the second inning. That was his second strikeout of the day. The 3-1 to Vaughn, foul back off the right side into the Disparity Club, bouncing back into the concourse all the way back to the net. Watch her lips down there. So full count here to Corey Vaughn, son of Greg Vaughn, former Padre, misses outside. So a one out walk here to Corey Vaughn. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter for the Blue Crabs, Edwin Garcia. You got some. If you're hearing some music back there, that's the visitors' walk-up music now. It's a new feature we're gonna have, which I gotta say, a huge fan of. I think that's funny. That's a great piece of minor league baseball. It's something you probably can't do in a major league game, but you know, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun on this broadcast. I'm gonna have a lot of guests as the season goes on. None yet. I'm waiting for somebody to come in the broadcast booth and be my guest, but no dice just yet. As Mitch Talbot pours across strike one here, one away here in the top of the second to Edwin Garcia. Edwin Garcia, the shortstop for the Blue Crabs, won the Gold Glove of the Atlantic League last year. He was the Defensive Player of the Year. And swings and misses at the breaking ball there, so 1-1 now with one away. With Mitch Talbot on the mound. Mitch, a former Astros farmhand, that's where he was drafted. Selected by the Astros in the 2002 MLB draft in the second round at Canyon View High School in Cedar City, Utah. As you mentioned, he played with the Tampa Bay Rays in 2008 and was with the Cleveland Indians in 2010 and 11. As that one's lined to the 5.5 hole and through for a base hit. Edwin Garcia is going to extend this inning a little bit. Cody Ashley fields it, gets it back in. So a one-out single from Edwin Garcia. That's going to reset the order here for the Blue Crabs, bringing up Angelis Nina, who got things going tonight with a single to lead off the game. So the Skeeters, they had their way with the Blue Crabs last year. Mostly, I mean, they had their way with pretty much everyone last year. There were a few teams that played them a little more tough, but the Blue Crabs, I will say, were not one of them. They were 14-5 against the Blue Crabs last year. But they are out to an early lead tonight, a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second against your Sugar Land Skeeters here at Constellation Field on opening day. First pitch to Nina, foul back off the net. Big Mike Garcia making his way out there. If you watch the news, the Fox 26 Houston affiliate this morning, Big Mike was on the news talking about the new gear for the Skeeters out there. Big Mike's been here since day one, folks. He's been here a lot longer than I have. I'm hoping to get him up in the broadcast booth at some point, but he's pretty busy down there as a bat boy. As the second pitch to Nina is inside for a ball, 1-1. So 1-1, runners on first and second here in the top of the second. Angelis Nina, the leadoff man for the Blue Crabs at the dish. Mitch Talbot on the mound. And Talbot fires across a fastball here. 1-2 the count now. As you mentioned, Mitch threw 5 innings, allowed just 1 earned run on opening day last season to pick up a win against the New Britain Bees. That was a 2-1 win for your Skeeters on opening day. Threw 68 pitches on that day. And strike 3 looking. Angelis Nina down. And Mitch Talbot with a beautiful fastball there to get Nina, the second baseman of the Blue Crabs, looking 2 away here in the top of the second. As you're probably hearing DJ Teddy spinning some, I think that's Little John out there in the Bud Light Ice House. I met DJ Teddy. She's a fiery spirit. I'm a big fan. If I wasn't broadcasting to you guys right now, I'd probably be there at the Bud Light Ice House cheering her on, doing a great job keeping the energy up here. As Ruby Silva comes in and first pitch swinging, fouls that one into shallow left field. That one's gonna fall right in front of Kodayashi. In to score is Corey Vaughn, and the Blue Crabs take a 2-0 lead on a bloop single there from Ruby Silva on a jam shot for Mitch Talbot. So Ruby Silva looked like that was not the swing he wanted on that pitch. Mitch Talbot got the fastball in, but he just found a patch of green grass out there in front of Cody Ashley and Ryan Court and Juan Silverio, kind of into a Bermuda triangle, if you will, out there into left center or shallow left field. And the Blue Crabs, so 2 straight innings, they put on a run here. The RBI single from Ruby Silva gives them that 2-0 lead. First pitch swinging foul ball here from Frank Martinez, who got this game started scoring-wise with the RBI double back in the first inning. So a 2-out RBI single from Ruby Silva. That's a tough break there for Mitch Talbot. Not a hard-hit ball again. We'll have TrackMan up soon, but that's another one where it would not favor kindly, and that one's popped up in foul territory. Juan Silvera's under it. He's got it. And that'll end the inning. So, through 2 for the Skeeters. Top of the second, Mitch Talbot allows 1 run on the RBI single from Ruby Silva. We'll be coming to bat here in the top of the second inning. Blue Crowds with a 2-0 lead. You're listening to the Sugar Land Skeeters Media Network.
Thank you, Shane. I'm up here with Logan, and he is ready for the Whataburger Fry Shuffle. All right, Logan, I'm going to show you 3 French fry boxes up there on that screen. One of them's going to have fries in it. When I say they're going to move around, you got to follow those fries. Are you ready? All right, so starting at number 1, keep your eyes on that box. Oh, it moved around a lot. If you know, help him out. Logan, do you know where it is? 3. Is it in number 3? It is. That means that you are going to be the winner of this Whataburger prize pack. Back up to you, Shane.
And welcome back to the broadcast booth here at Constellation Field. Sorry, still working at that timing. We got to mention one of the rule changes is that minute 45 in between innings. So I'll get it down. I promise you it's opening day. We're all having a good time. The only thing that we could change here is that your Skeeters trail the Blue Crabs 2-0 through 1.5 innings. We're heading to the bottom of the second here. Ryan Posner here at Constellation Field in the broadcast booth, and leading off this inning is going to be the first baseman, Houston native, longtime LA Dodger, James Loney. First pitch swinging, line down the right field line, and foul. Skeeters still seeking that first hit of the 2019 season. Cody Ashley got on with a hit by pitch in the first inning. Only a base runner thus far for the Skeeters. Ruby Silva with an RBI single last inning, which was a tough pill to swallow for the Skeeters. Just a kind of a bleeder out there in a shallow left. Second pitch to Loney, the breaking ball from Daryl Thompson, the longtime Blue Crab, misses down and in.
I thought you got arrested, man.
So Daryl Thompson, a native of Maryland as well. I mean, it's pretty much death taxes and Daryl Thompson pitching for the Blue Crabs. He's been there for a very long time. As Loney pops this one up straight back. Going to be a foul ball, 1-2 count.
That's another raising gauge in Sugarland.
So James Loney here in his first season with the Skeeters, his first at-bat with the Skeeters. Went to Elkins High School in Missouri City, led them to a state title back in 2002. 1-2 count, lined off the glove of Thompson. Over to field it is the third baseman, not going to be in time, and that's going to be the first base hit of the 2019 season. A line drive off the bat of James Loney, which was smoked off the glove of Daryl Thompson. Frank Martinez didn't really have a play there at third base. Either way, without the shift, that's a huge part of it right there, because a lot of times, a lot of teams might have shifted to Loney to hit the ball on the ground on the right side, but they're not able to play toward the center of the diamond here without the shifting, so that would have been a line drive single up the middle regardless. James Loney in his first at-bat makes good with the single there. We don't have exit velocities just yet, but I'm sure that one would have been smoking for sure. And Juan Silverio stepping in now, the Skeeters third baseman. Takes for ball 1. So the Skeeters with a leadoff base runner here, down 2-0 in the bottom of the first inning.
Allen had no problem.
And I clamored for it, and I got him. I got my first visitor in the booth of the season here as Thompson gets across the Silverio line through the 5.5 hole. A base hit for Juan Silverio. So the Skeeters back-to-back singles open up things here in the bottom of the second. Runners on first, second. That's going to bring up Albert Cordero, the catcher. Coco coming to the dish. And joining me now to my right, Skeeters ballpark operations manager? Something like that. Doug Failing. Doug, welcome to the Skeeters broadcast.
Thank you, Posner. Thanks for inviting me in tonight.
Absolutely. Glad to have friends in the booth at all times.
Couldn't be happier to come in right as Coco comes up to bat. Love this guy.
You stepped into the booth, and we've had back-to-back singles, so you're gonna stay right there.
I'm all right with that.
Okay, good deal. Well, Albert Cordero into the batter's box, the Skeeters catcher, the longest tenured member of the Sugar Land Skeeters, received his ring today, and first pitch from Thompson swung on a miss for strike 1. I was saying earlier, we faced the Bees last year and went on a 7-game. We won all 6 games against the Bees to open the season. So, well, actually, yeah, we're gonna see something here. So the catcher popped right out to go visit the pitcher. That is against the rules now. That should be a dead ball and should be a ball. We'll see how this is handled. This is still kind of a new frontier for everyone here, as far as these new rules issued with the Atlantic League and MLB partnership. But Valerio, the catcher, just ran right out there, which is you can't do that anymore. You can only go out to go visit the mound unless there is a pitching change or an injury.
Looks like Pete's coming out to say some words as well.
Pete's he's a man of many words when it comes to talking to umpires. It's going to be interesting when we actually get the automated strike zone and there's no home plate umpire to get mad at.
Oh, I'm sure he will still get mad at the home plate umpire.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll find plenty of things to go talk to him.
Oh, sure. Pete's a fire. He's a competitor back there, which is what we love about him. But it should be 1-1 the count. I don't know what we don't have it up on the scoreboard. I'm not sure what Pete and home plate umpire.
Looks like a 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. So okay, they did. That's the rule. You visit the mound and it is a dead ball and a ball. So kudos to the umpires. I mean, they're learning too. Give them some credit. This is a foreign concept to them as well. They're not used to these rules. I mean, nowhere in professional baseball do you find rules like this where you can't visit the mound. This is the only place.
And this is professional baseball.
Yeah, we are professional baseball. As Cordero fouls that one back. So 1-2 the count to Albert Cordero. I was wondering how that would manifest itself. I knew on opening day there would be something like that where a manager just impulse, but it makes sense to be the catcher because the catchers are, you know, when you get two guys a single lead off the inning, your impulse is to go talk to your pitcher, kind of calm them down, but you can't do that.
It's going to be hard to retrain these guys. You know, they've been doing these things since they were kids, and now it's just flipped 180, just like that.
1-2 to Cordero, breaking ball, swung on and missed for strike 3. So Coco down on strike swinging. That's going to be the first out of the inning here in the bottom of the second. Still runners on first and second. That's going to bring up our DH for the evening, Dennis Phipps. Dennis is looking pretty good. Dennis, Pete told me he cut about 25 pounds off his frame.
I was going to say, he looks
season.
a little slimmer than he did.
He's looking more like Yasiel Puig, in my humble opinion. I'm seeing him out there, and I told him, like, man, like, bro, you need to get me on your workout diet. Like, that was impressive.
We could both be on that workout diet.
I believe that. So Dennis Phipps up with one out here, gets a breaking ball, misses up from Daryl Thompson, the Blue Crabs right-hander for ball one. Runners on first and second. And it took me a while, too. I didn't notice the chalk out in the middle of the diamond there.
Yeah, that's a new addition as well, trying to keep the players on each side of that.
It threw me off. I'm seeing something out there, and it took me a while, and I realized as Phipps kind of cue balls that one off to the right side, fielded there by Griffin. He'll take it to the bag for the putout, so the runners move individually. Silverio to second, Loney to third, so now 2 away here in the bottom of the second. And that's going to bring up the League City native out of Clear Creek High School making his first at-bat with the Skeeters. That would be what is he playing? Right field tonight, CJ McElroy. So runners on second and third here, 2 away in the bottom of the second. The Blue Crabs do hold a 2-0 lead here, but a chance to get some back here with CJ McElroy at the plate. First pitch to CJ, strike one. Got the high strike there. I'm still learning to stay behind the action. As I mentioned, this is my first year as a full-time play-by-play broadcaster, so we're going to learn together, folks. I told you that YouTube comment section is open, so if you ever have something you want to just throw at me, maybe some constructive criticism, I'm all ears. As the breaking pitch from Daryl Thompson misses for strike 2, as Thompson has some type of insect bothering him at the mound. He's swatting away at something out there on the pitching mound. So quickly in the hole here, CJ McElroy 0-2. Runners on second and third here with 2 away in the bottom of the second.
Promise you, Paz, we won't want you starting anywhere else except right here.
There we go.
Constellation Field.
There we go. I mean, it's a absolutely beautiful night. We had some rain this morning, but it's cleared up. Opening day, beautiful day as McElroy chops that one over to third base. Martinez tries to tag the throw to McElroy, and just in time gets him on the putout. So the Skeeters threaten a little bit. The 2 singles from Loney and Silverio, but no dice. The runners ran it on second and third. Blue Crabs still hanging on to a 2-0 lead. You're listening to the Skeeters Broadcast Network. Back in just a second. We are coming to you live from Constellation Field. It's opening day here in Atlantic League Baseball for the 2019 season. Your Sugar Land Skeeters do trail the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs 2-0 as we head to the top of the third here on an absolutely gorgeous evening. I'm still joined by our operations extraordinaire, Douglas Failing to my right.
Thank you, sir. And this is a great looking ballpark tonight. A lot of fans. Everybody's excited for some Skeeter baseball this season.
So Craig Maddox going to lead it off here. Takes strike one to get things going and fouls that one back. So quickly in the hole. 0-2 is the DH for the Blue Crabs tonight, Craig Maddox. No relation to Greg Maddox, as far as I know. No, he doesn't. There's no relation.
No way.
No. So 0-2 the count here to Craig Maddox. It's kind of an interesting batting stance here as that one misses low and in. I'm trying to compare that to think of who that kind of looks like there. It's kind of like a Craig Counsell if he held his bat below around his chest line instead of above his head. Because Craig Counsell he was up here, he was above his head. He's kind of right around his chest, very open stance, and swings and misses. Mitch Talbot, strikeout to get things going here in the top of the third. One down.
Yeah, so, it almost looked like he had the handle up back to on his shoulder.
There's a baseball player. He's a major leaguer. He has a batting stance like that from the left side too, and it'll come to me. It'll come to me like in the ninth inning, and have like a brain blast like Jimmy Neutron, but it's going to be inconsequential because Maddox will probably be not even up to the plate. So that's all good and dandy. And John Griffin, the first baseman for the Blue Crabs, now up. Doug, what do you think about this walk-up music for the visitors now? As that one's actually chopped back to Talbot. He feels his position well, throws over to Loney, and 2 away. Pitchers are athletes. They tell you otherwise in places that pitchers cannot be athletes. He feels his position well right there.
I mean, makes me think I could be an athlete.
That's a stretch. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Mitch can move around a little bit. He's got some good flow out there. So Doug, what's going on in the ballpark? What were you doing today to get ready for opening day?
I was just doing circles around here like a NASCAR driver, just going round and round and round, trying to get everything put together, ready for tonight. And thankfully everything turned out pretty well.
Dude, it turned out great, man. This is a great crowd, a great night as Charlie Valera, the catcher, first pitch swinging, and we got a quick 1-2-3 inning. Loney touches the base, and just like that, we're out of the top of the third. No runs, no hits. Mitch Talbot with a quick and tidy top of the third inning. The Blue Crabs do hang on to a 2-0 lead. Me and Doug will be back here in just a moment.
Thank you, Shane. I'm over here in section 17 with a birthday girl. This is Mama Prince, and it is her birthday tonight, and she is ready to test her baseball knowledge with the Assured Float Solutions baseball movie trivia. All right, let's take a look at that question up there. Which of these films stars the late actor Bernie Mac? Is it A, 42, B, Moneyball, or C, Mr. 3000?
C.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Well, let's see if she's correct.
Shout out to Troy Young, our video coordinator, for bringing us this sweet music you're listening to when we get back in from innings. Brian Posner is still joined by Douglas Failing. We had a quick cameo from Chris Parsons, member of our front office staff, and he just bailed on us, so that's cool. The Trash Monster, back at Constellation Field. I don't know if you're watching the feed there in between innings. He is back and collecting trash in the sake of the environment. And for me, I got to say, that's a beautiful sight.
Definitely helps me out in the night whenever I'm going around cleaning this place up.
Doug will be locking this place up tonight. You can be sure of that. And leading things off here in the top of the third, that's going to be the center fielder, Jared Mitchell. Still with Daryl Thompson on the mound. First pitch swinging from Mitchell. Over the top for strike one. So Jared made a good transition from the dark side. He played for the York Revolution last year. He was a all-defensive team for the Atlantic League. That one misses up and away from Daryl Thompson. Can't believe I forget his name. He's pitched for the Blue Crabs for like almost a decade. 1-1 to Mitchell. Foul back left side for strike two. So Jared Mitchell's got a pretty interesting backstory. He won a national title as a football player for LSU in 2007. Then all he did was go on to win a national title as a baseball player in 2009 for their baseball team, and he won the most outstanding player for the College World Series that year.
I mean, really, is that all he did? Like,
I think he filled the water coolers too. I think he drove the team bus.
I mean, heck, at that point he was lacing everybody's shoes.
And Mitchell fouls that one back. He, I don't know where you were at when he had his first at bat of the game. He had a nice poke out there to left center. Brought Tony Thomas back to the warning track. I thought I was going to have my first home run call here as a Skeeters.
It's actually very unusual for Constellation. The wind's actually blowing out to
That's
center.
a good point. Doug, I have not mentioned that. Thank you for reminding me. The wind usually does blow in here to right. The flags are blowing pretty much directly out. And nice take there from Mitchell on the breaking ball. I don't know how he laid off that one. So 2-2 is the count here. Nobody down. In the bottom of the third, the Blue Crabs hanging on to a 2-0 lead. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Blue Crabs. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for your defending champion Sugarland Skeeters. And Mitchell takes fastball up and away. So 3-2. The count now to Jared Mitchell. Mitchell, a former first-round pick of the Chicago White Sox as well. So 2 straight years we've had a former Chicago White Sox first-round pick. Like Courtney Hawkins last year, and now Jared Mitchell. 3-2 lined into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. So Jared Mitchell, big turnaround first. He's going to head back. And they're going to throw over there. No play. So Jared Mitchell, second straight inning. We got a leadoff single for your Sugarland Skeeters. Nice little piece of hitting right there. Does a nice job of taking the ball the other way.
Pretty nice. Also, another comment with earlier today when we were out here having batting practice with the wind going out. I'm definitely expecting to see a bomb going out tonight. So I definitely think you're going to make your home run call tonight. So hopefully Doug, it's in the Skeeters' favor.
I think it's certainly be in the Skeeters' favor. Doug Phalion say he's putting in the call for a Skeeters home run tonight. Josh Prince now stepping in, the stolen base king, the sweet Prince. First pitch from Thompson. He pops that one up to the right side. Griffin gives it a look. Looks like Nina's going to corral that just on the cut of the grass. And he does indeed put that away. So 1 down here in the top of the third. Bottom of the third. As I mentioned, the comment section is open here on YouTube. If I say something stupid, if I got an inaccuracy, let me have it. Let me hear it. Air me out. No one's done it yet. I'm waiting for it. It's going to happen at some point. Shout out to Multi Apples. That's my boy out there. He's been singing my praises all game. So with 1 away here, it's going to bring up Cody Ashe, the left fielder for the Skeeters. Got on with a hit by pitch in his first at bat back on the top of the first. And Ashe pops this one up, and that will get out of play for strike 1. So DJ Teddy out there kind of spinning the tracks.
A little bit too much.
You think so?
At the beginning, we had to turn him down a little bit.
We're picking her up pretty good. Like I can pretty much hear every song she's played. She had some Little John going on earlier. I'm sure everyone enjoyed that. I'm a big Little John fan.
Definitely gotten the ice house pumped out there.
Dude, I mean that's awesome. She's really good at what she does, and we're happy that she's here for sure. As Ashe swings over that off-speed pitch for strike 2. So runner on first here. The leadoff single from Jared Mitchell got us started. 1 down. The Blue Crabs hanging on to that 2-0 lead here at the bottom of the third. As the sun has set, the lights are on here. You can thank Doug for the lights being on. He times those babies. As our owner Kevin Zlotnick popped in. He's going to get on the broadcast booth. He shied away, but we'll get him back.
Oh, you'll get him in here.
Kevin Zlotnick, the owner of the team. Kevin, Bob, and Marcy Zlotnick. They do a fantastic job. Not only do they sign my paychecks, they are also just great people.
That's a good call.
And the back pick there to Mitchell. Throw almost got away from John Griffin at first base, but he corrals it Mitchell is already kind of causing some havoc here on the base paths. So last year with York, he stole 33 bases, which was his career high. I think is in a league like this where, maybe the catchers are not necessarily up to snuff where you would get in a normal minor, like an affiliated level or in the majors. I think you can kind of take advantage of them. We got lucky last year with Derek Norris, and we have Coco this year who really command that catchers. And he's on the run already and foul it back. As I was saying, that Mitchell would have pretty much had that base stolen had not been the foul ball.
It's also going to be very interesting with these bigger bases this year. How do you defend that, and especially sliding in, and you got to stay on that back. They are not on yet.
Okay.
These are still the 15-inch bases. We haven't got the new anchors yet, so they haven't got the 18s in yet.
A lot of these rules, they will come as the year goes on. The TrackMan's another one. You can look here to my left. The play-by-play for the TrackMan is up. We're waiting on exit velocities and launch angles and stuff like that. So I'll be able to give you guys some pretty good numbers as Ashley fouls that one away. What's your stance? I really like those numbers. I like all the data we can get.
I'm a big stats guy, so I'm very into it. I'm excited to see what MLB allows us to look into and use, especially for our players, especially if we try to move them back up into the majors. That's only going to help them and these guys in this league.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's what the major league teams look at, so they're getting a chance to view it here in the Atlantic League as Ashley takes that one up and away. So 3-2 now. Count to the former Philadelphia Philly. Jared Mitchell on first base. I'm gonna guess here. Jared Mitchell might be stealing. 3-2 count, one away. You're down by 2. You want to get a runner in scoring position here, and Mitchell obviously supplying some pretty good speed over there at first base. And he's on the move. Swing and a miss. Ashley down on strikes. Mitchell, the head first slide. He's in there. Stolen base. Jared Mitchell. So Ashley down on strikes, but Jared Mitchell using that speed tool, getting himself on second base. So the first stolen base of the season for the Skeeters.
There we go.
And that's going to bring up Ryan Court, who, I'm not going to lie, I have a pretty sweet home run call ready for Ryan Court. So if he were to go yard here,
pretty perfect.
I get to debut it. Kind of take the Ferrari to the garage, you can say. I have a home run call for every player on the Skeeters, but Ryan Court is
practicing that in the mirror?
Yeah, no, not really in the mirror, just in here. That's why if you hear me yelling. Oh, no, you were in here earlier as that one here from Thompson at Court misses up for ball 1 when my windows were closed, but the wasp flew onto the window.
Yes.
And we were saying if that actually happened during the game, I'd probably scream at the top of my lungs. And that would happen on air, so you guys would get a pretty cool moment.
I've gotten to hear that scream in person.
So 1-0 the count to Ryan Court, the shortstop for the Sugar Land Skeeters. 2 down here in the bottom of the third, runner on second, and Jared Mitchell. Court takes that one for strike 1. Ryan Court 0 for 1, struck out looking in his first at bat as a Skeeter. So I think Ryan Court looks a lot like Chris Bryant. Do you see that or no?
Kind of.
He's a fairly tall guy. He's listed here at 6'2", 210 pounds on our roster. Court lines out to short. Garcia on a hop, plays it. Nicely done by Garcia. He played that one pretty well, just waiting for it to come back to him. So the Skeeters get another leadoff hit. The leadoff single from Jared Mitchell. He steals second base, but he is stranded there. The Blue Crabs hanging on to a 2-0 lead. You're listening to the Sugar Land Skeeters Media Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you, Shane. I'm down here with Brett, and he is ready for the Texas Mattress Maker stolen base race. All right, Brett, there is a base out there in the outfield. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to go down and steal it. Are you ready? All right, let's put that countdown up on the board. 3, 2, 1, go. And he is off and running. We put it pretty far out there, so let's cheer him on as he runs down there. Oh, you can be louder than that. Let me hear you, Skeeters fans. All right, Brett's got the base, about 15 seconds to bring it all the way back. 10 seconds to go, all the way to me. And he slows goes down with about 5 seconds to spare. Brett's going to be our winner of the stolen base race, brought to you by Texas Mattress Makers. Back up to you, Shane.
And we are back here at Constellation Field. Moving into the 4th inning, Tony Thomas going to get things going for the Blue Crabs. Mitch Talbot still on the mound for your Sugar Land Skeeters, and I am joined with another special guest. I asked for it, I wanted the guests, and they have started to come. And to my right is Skeeters owner Kevin Zlotnick. Kevin, how are we doing tonight?
We're doing great, Ryan. How are you?
It's Tony Thomas got a hold of that one to left field. Going to bring Ashley back. They're going to look up, and into the play land it goes. Tony Thomas. We've seen that before. He has hit a few homers here at Constellation Field, and he leaves the yard out to left center to lead off the 4th inning. It's kind of a bittersweet, serendipitous moment there with Tony Thomas leaving the yard.
Yeah, I handed him his ring a couple hours ago, and this is how he repays me with a 400-foot bomb to left center field. Good to see you again, Tony.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he definitely got a hold of that. Cody Ashley out in left, and Jared Mitchell in center really didn't give him much of a look. They kind of just turned their heads there and watched it fly.
Yeah, that was a no-doubter.
So a leadoff home run from Tony Thomas puts the Blue Crabs up 3-0 with nobody away here in the 4th inning. Second pitch of the inning, Corey Vaughn with a deep drive to right center into the ice house, and that's going to go. So back-to-back home runs to get things going here. Kevin has stepped into the booth, and
so am I fired?
I mean, I think anything I guess could fire me. This is now a 4-0 lead for the Blue Crabs as Corey Vaughn leaves the yard out to right center.
The wind is blowing out, but you don't see a lot of balls hit into the ice house, especially by a right-handed hitter.
I saw one all of last year. It was from Anthony Jansanti. He hit one. I mean, it barely got out. It took a hit off the facing and kind of skipped off the plastic for a home run. That was the only time all year that I saw a home run hit out that way.
That was a no-doubter as well.
That got out. I've never seen a ball get that far to right center. Corey Vaughn really got a hold of that one. So Edwin Garcia now the shortstop after back-to-back home runs get things going here. Our manual scoreboard operator is probably he's got everything he can handle out there in left field. A 5-0 lead now for the Blue Crabs here. And Garcia will line that one into right field for a base hit. So 3 straight hits now to open up things in the 4th inning with Mitch Talbot still on the mound for your Skeeters. Got some action out there in the bullpen.
Who's warming up?
If I had binoculars, I wish I could tell you.
I'm going with number 18, Michael Marriott, or number 19, Matt West.
I think it was Marriott. That was going to be my guess. It looks to be Michael, former Skeeter, as Mitch Talbot running into a little bit of trouble here in the 4th as we get things going. First pitch to Angelis Nina misses inside for ball 1. So yeah, the inning, we're already the 2-0 lead for the Blue Crabs, and the back-to-back home runs to get things going from Tony Thomas and Corey Vaughn with, one of the more impressive power displays we've really seen in a while here at Constellation Field.
Yeah, I took the over in tonight's game because the wind's blowing out, but
didn't know we had live betting lines here for Land League Baseball, but sports betting's legal now, so
it's becoming more prevalent.
Yeah.
So I know a guy. I called him. I said, "Hey,
sweet deal.
What's the over/under on the game tonight?"
What was it?
He said 9.5.
Wow, a lot of runs.
I feel good about it, though.
Yeah, no, that bet's looking pretty safe here. 4 runs, all from the Blue Crabs here through 3 innings, really. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th. That one's grounded. It's going to be a tough play for Cord. He's going across the infield. He'll get the out at first. So Garcia advances to second base, but the fielder's choice gets Nina 6-3 for the first out of the inning. I mean, Mitch was so dominant on opening day last year. I think it was unfair. We kind of had these expectations of him and just shutting the door again. He threw 5 innings. He had just the 1 run allowed. It was an unearned run, too. He threw 10 innings without allowing a run to open the season. Just that one run which wasn't earned.
How many appearances did he make before he got picked up?
So he had 5. He had 5 with us, and then he went to the AAA Columbus with the Indians and did phenomenal out there too. He had a sub-3 ERA all season long. I'd asked him. I was like, man, like, what are you thinking when you're putting up those numbers and you're just not getting the call? And he was saying it's pretty. I mean, as you can imagine, it's pretty agonizing. You're sitting there, you're putting up numbers and kind of just waiting to get the call. So 1 down here, and Ruby Silva swings over the top of that one for strike 1.
So what are your observations of our team so far through 4 scrimmage games, a couple inter squads, and then 4 3+ innings tonight?
I think Mitch is getting a little bit unlucky tonight. They had Ruby Silva, the guy up to bat right now, kind of had a bloop single for an RBI single back in the 2nd inning as he lines that one into center
as well.
But McElroy in right field dives, and he does not make the plays. It skips off the wall. Mitchell corrals it. They're going to send the runner home. The cutoff from Prince. Coco stops it, but the run will come across to score. So Garcia comes around to score, and an RBI triple as we score for Ruby Silva, as C.J. McElroy almost turned in a phenomenal play in right field.
I thought he had it.
Goodness.
I'm looking forward to seeing the replay of that because that was very close.
Wow.
I thought he caught it, and then I saw the ball kicking up around the visitors' bullpen in deep right center field.
Yeah, that was just about one of the finest plays you'll see. And Pete walking out to the dugout now, and that is going to do it for Mitch Talbot here with 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. In on relief, we'll give you some stats here on the new guy coming in for the Skeeters, Mitch Talbot, walking off. Blue Crabs hanging on to a 5-0 lead over the Skeeters. It's opening day here at Constellation Field. Your defending champion Sugar Land Skeeters do trail 5-0. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back into the broadcast booth here at Constellation Field. Ryan Posner joined by Skeeters owner Kevin Zlotnick. And Kevin, you jumped in the booth, and I gotta admit, man, what the heck?
My ERA is not good right now.
It's not great.
I got through a third of an inning with 3 runs. That is, I'm hoping to bring it down.
Absolutely. And in the pitch now is the right-hander Kevin with the eyes there, also called him Michael Marriott. He's second year with the Skeeters now. Michael spent last year with us as well and gets across the first pitch strike to Frank Martinez.
Nice breaking ball there. Let's get how about just a one-hopper back to the mound? I'm just trying to salvage my ERA. It's going to be embarrassing next time I come on the radio and they put my stats up on the board and I've got 150 ERA.
It's not looking good. We got one out here. Blue Crabs up 5-0 here in the top of the fourth. Marriott misses inside with the fastball, so they feel choked in here.
I'm trying to get a call to the big leagues just like our players.
Yeah.
And, my stats are not good right now.
Yeah, the Corey Vaughn and Tony Thomas opened the inning with home runs, and then the RBI single from Ruby Silva, or the RBI triple, which almost was an amazing catch from CJ McElroy in right field. That is chopped to the middle, and man, another seeing-eye single. So Frank Martinez with his second RBI of the evening. He drives in Ruby Silva.
I asked for a grounder back to the mound, and that one just hopped right over the mound.
You did. You got the ball back to the mound, but just not quite playable. So that will bring the tally up to 6-0 now for the Blue Crabs here on opening day. And you were saying in the between innings that 5 runs isn't going to win this game. I kind of tend to agree with you here. Now it's 6 runs, but I still think that holds up.
The Skeeters are going to put up some runs. I mean, Thompson's been around. All of our guys that have been in the league before have faced him. I don't know if you gave the numbers. I don't know the numbers, but I feel like he hadn't had a whole lot of success against the Skeeters in prior years. If we hit a few fly balls, the wind's going to carry him out of here. We'll see what happens. It's a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, we're only in the top of the fourth. 6-0 is the lead for the Blue Crowds, but a lineup littered with major leaguers, former Skeeters who we've seen produce on a constant basis. Is Craig Maddox, the DH. Swings and misses for strike one here. So Thompson, Kevin was alluding to, he's kind of like a mainstay here in the Atlantic League. He's the Blue Crabs' all-time leading innings pitched leader with 792 and 2/3 innings pitched. As Marriott misses outside for ball 2. He also has 45 wins, which rank as the most in Blue Crabs history.
792 innings, and
that's amazing.
That is amazing. I'm putting you on the spot here. Where does that rank him all time in the Atlantic League?
I'm glad you asked. He's top 10 in the Atlantic League in innings pitched, strikeouts, and wins. So he's an Atlantic League lifer, and that ball is fouled to the left side.
He must have been in the Atlantic League about as long as the Skeeters have.
Yeah, I think without having the numbers right in front of me, his tenure in the Atlantic League probably does outdate the Skeeters. He's a former Montreal Expo too. Like, he's just a throwback.
Really?
Yeah, he's a throwback. He played with the Expos, drafted by them as well. So all in all, definitely a throwback. But Michael Marriott here with a 1-2 count to Craig Maddox, the DH for the Blue Crabs, one away, runner on first in the fourth inning as Maddox fouls that one back. So 1-2 remains the count.
Not getting a lot of swings and misses right now.
Not yet. That is true. A lot of balls in play. Mitch did strike hit 4 batters, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. The book is closed on Mitch now with Silva coming across the score. So we'll get you the final line on Mitch here after this pitch from Marriott to Craig Maddox, the DH. Maddox chops that one to Loney, stays fair, touches the base. Oh, they got a foul ball. That must have,
I guess.
Yeah, must have hit off his foot. That's a good call. So while we got a second, let's look at the line of Mitch Talbot. 3 1/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. The 2 home runs, which both came in this inning to lead it off, Tony Thomas and Corey Vaughn with the home runs. And then we were talking again in half inning. Corey Vaughn's home run was one of the more impressive power displays we've seen in a while here. You don't just see balls do not travel well to right field at Constellation Field.
And that's Greg Vaughn's son, correct?
It is Greg Vaughn. I got his bobblehead sitting right here. As that one's chopped to Silverio on a hop
spin.
Over to Court, back to Loney, double play!
Oh, yeah.
Skeeters, Michael Marriott gets us out of here, the fourth on the 5-6-3 double play. So the Blue Crabs do tack on 4 runs on the home runs from Tony Thomas and Corey Vaughn and a few other base hits. They lead 6-0. Skeeters coming back to bat in the bottom of the fourth. You're listening to Sugarland Skeeters Media Network. Thank you for tuning in once again. Ryan Posner here, joined by Skeeters owner Kevin Zlotnick as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Blue Crabs hanging on to a 6-0 lead, and James Loney going to get us started here with Daryl Thompson, the Blue Crabs right-hander, still on the mound. Kevin, the ballpark is packed tonight. The championship replica rings look awesome. We got a DJ out in the ice house and right field. What's going through your mind when you look at the ballpark tonight?
Excitement. I mean, it's opening day. The weather's beautiful. It's a packed house. The team's not playing well yet, but we've got a long way to go. And I think, I think I'm real thankful for the entire staff. I mean, it's been a long off season, and you kind of never see the light at the end of the tunnel sometimes. And then you come out here on opening day and you kind of see the fruits of your labor. And hopefully it's an exciting time for our entire staff because everything is running incredibly smoothly for an opening day.
James Loney works a 2-0 count. He pops that one back in foul territory. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit because we have a staff member, and Adam Metler. He's our vice president of customer service. This is
unfamiliar with him.
Yeah, this is his last game with the Skeeters. He's going to be moving on, and Adam is a very quiet person. He'll never brag about himself as Loney grounds this one to the right side. Angelos Nina over to John Griffin at first base, so one down. Adam, like I said, well, he'll never brag about himself, but let's just get on the record. What does Adam mean to this organization? As you mentioned, the customer service. What exactly does he do and kind of mean for all of us here?
Is this supposed to be the serious answer or the Pete's? Hold on, let's. What's going on here?
Yeah, Pete is up in arms about something because there was a little bit of a shift there from Nina. Although I think the rule is that there's only supposed to be 2 guys on the right side of the bag, and Nina was playing deep on the right side of the bag, but there were still only 2 players on that.
The shortstop was close. I did not notice him on the other side of second.
This is crazy. And this is the second time tonight we've seen this play out, both with the Blue Crabs on defense.
I missed the first one.
The first time it was with Albert Cordero at bat. And actually, no, it was not the shift. It was the fact that the catcher went out for like an impromptu mound visit. And it was a 0-1 count, and it became a 1-1 count.
So they enforced the ball. They didn't change the pitcher out.
No, they just they it was a dead ball and a ball was counted. It looks like Stan Clyburn, the manager for the Blue Crabs, returning to the Blue Crabs this year. We'll get into Stan a little bit later here in the broadcast. We got
back to Adam, I guess.
Yeah. Let's get back to Adam while Stan Clyburn and the umpires meet here.
Well, Adam's one of the hardest working guys around. I'm glad he's going back closer to home. We're going to miss him a lot. He's just kind of one of those guys that you want to have as a cornerstone of any organization you're involved with. He doesn't say a whole lot internally. He doesn't cause a lot of drama, but then when you go around and talk to the fans and the key stakeholders, he's one of, if not the most important person when you talk to them. So he's kind of what you look for in sort of a model employee, and that's all the nice things I'll say about him.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where I'm sure if any season ticketers are listening, you know who Adam is. And like I said, this is his last day, so I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention that, because I told him to come in the broadcast booth, but I just feel like he's not going to come in here anymore.
It would be a pretty silent inning.
It would be, yeah. He wouldn't say much.
I don't think he would thrive as a broadcaster or a guest in the booth. And now this is, obviously we have all these new rules, and I'm sure you've kind of gone through them. I'm curious. Now they're awarding him first base.
So that is the first time we're seeing it play out. So the umpires gather. Stan Clyburn, the manager of Southern Maryland, and Pete both talk to the umpires, but James Loney is going to get first base here. We mentioned the rules earlier. There can only be 2 players to the right of second base on any given play.
Here's my question for you, Ryan. So if the second baseman is in right field, that is within the rules? Because I know the shortstop was close by, but they've got a nice chalked line behind second base. So presumably he did not get on the other side of it. So I'm curious.
I'll have to ask Pete about that after this game, because to me I didn't notice Garcia shifting across. I did notice that Nina was playing kind of into the shallow right field.
Right.
So interesting enough, James Loney nonetheless. I don't really know you score that either. I guess an E. Yeah,
is that like a catcher's interference type rule? So isn't catcher's interference like a no at bat?
Godspeed to our official scorer, John Williams, over here to the left of me. I don't know how you score that, but I'm sure he will figure that out. As Juan Silverio now comes to the dish, we got another leadoff base runner. That's a 3rd straight inning. we have a leadoff base runner for your Skeeters. As
this is not good for the pace of play.
No, that was. I mean, this is kind of the opposite of what that was intended to do. There was a pretty long deliberation there between Stan Clyburn, the manager for the Blue Crabs, and Pete and Gavilia. Pete didn't really say much. He kind of mentioned something as Silverio takes strike one.
I think it has to do with something. I think it has something to do with the second baseman in right field, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I think so. I'd agree with you there. I don't really know exactly what the call is. We're kind of working through this. I mean, as you guys are listening, this is the first time we're seeing the game played like this, so bear with us as Juan Silverio takes that one in the dirt. I guess I'll give Loney a. I like your call of catcher's interference. That's what I'm gonna give him there, because otherwise I really don't know what you score that.
I was at the Astros game the other night, and the Astros had runners on first and second, and Carlos Correa was batting, and they threw a ball in the dirt, and it skipped off the catcher's equipment and back towards Carlos, and he reached out at the ball. Well, this is going to be an out.
Well, Silverio pops it up into shallow center field. Nina having a little bit of trouble, but he does range back and catch that.
So the ball skipped in the dirt, and Correa kind of grabbed at it. He didn't. He may have touched it. He didn't catch it, and the runners moved up to second and third, and there was a big deliberation, and eventually they called Carlos Correa out for batter's interference, and I'd never seen that before. I don't really think it had an effect on the play, but of course the batter can't grab at the ball, but so.
Interesting. I mean, baseball is one of those sports where like it's such a cliche, but it also is so true. You come to the park and you just see a line of chalk drawn behind second base. That's something that everyone here in attendance has never seen before. We can guarantee that. So it's exciting, I guess, is one of the words, and intriguing, I think, is probably the more appropriate word. Is Albert Cordero looks at strike one from Daryl Thompson, who's still rolling along here for the Blue Crabs. The longtime Blue Crab star, like we mentioned, he's thrown 3 1/3 here, just allowed the 3 hits, the 3 strikeouts without a walk here, and no runs as their Skeeters trail the Blue Crabs 6-0 here.
Damn.
And Coco swings over the top of that one, strike 2. So offense has yet to make an appearance here tonight, but there's been 3 straight leadoff base runners. Loney on with what we and Kevin are going to call a catcher's interference. It's
catcher's interference type situation?
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's not really a catcher's interference, but you just don't really know what to score that yet.
I mean, if Major League Baseball has created these new rules, do we now need to create
that's a good point. There's new ways to
new
score
scoring situations?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. So you know how now that the runner will start on second base in an extra inning game. Without anybody out, a runner will go to second base. That run is not earned. So that's what you have to specify, because a pitcher didn't let that runner get to second base.
But they've been doing that in affiliated minor league baseball now.
They have been.
I think we may have just witnessed the first instance of breaking the shift rule. And
I can't
is
wait.
Rob Manfred listening?
Rob, if you're listening and you have a burner account on YouTube, please comment below. I'd love to hear the explanation. As Thompson fires in a fastball there. Strike 3, so 2 down now.
We need somebody to get the offense going. I think Phipps is the guy right here. Big time power to left field. The crowd's begging for it. Let's just start chipping away into this lead.
I like your mentality there, Phippsy. So the last time we heard of him, he hit that opposite field. You were in Long Island when he hit that home run in the right field, Game 5 of
the one kind of to put us a little more comfortably ahead. Did that put us at 3-1, 4-1, 3-0?
That was Game 5,
right?
And of the score, I don't know what the score was, but Phipps fouls that one back.
Big swing.
It was a little nerve-wracking. The Skeeters last year in the Freedom Division, or the Atlantic League Championship Series, rather, they got up 2-0, so they were a game away from clinching it. They went to Long Island, dropped the first 2, and made it a little more interesting. So in Game 5, the Skeeters went on to win and win the title, but that was Dennis Phipps who had a home run that game, and James Russell with a complete game as well.
What's James up to this year? Is he
I don't know. Actually, I need to look into that. James obviously not on the Skeeters roster, but a huge part of the Skeeters last year is Phippsy check swings and did go around there for strike 2 with Daryl Thompson. Yeah, James Russell joined us in about May last year. His I have it written down here. His ERA last year, it was a 2.36 ERA. Was the lowest in the Atlantic League, and actually the lowest we ever had in a single season.
Really?
Yeah. So the former big leaguer, the son of Jeff Russell, the Texas Rangers former closer, and Thompson gets Phipps looking strike 3. So Another leadoff base runner stranded for the Skeeters. They trail the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs as Phipps has a few extra words for the umpire there on his way out. As I mentioned, the Blue Crabs holding on to a 6-0 lead over the Skeeters on opening day here at Constellation Field. You're listening to the Sugar Land Skeeters broadcast. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back. You're listening live to Sugar Land Skeeters baseball here at Constellation Field. Ryan Posner here on the microphone. Unfortunately, I wish I came to you with better news. Your Skeeters are trailing the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs 6-0 here on opening day. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Blue Crabs. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for the Skeeters as John Griffin, the first baseman for the Blue Crabs, steps on in with Michael Marriott still on the mound. Michael Marriott obviously making his season debut, came in and allowed just the hit, got through 2/3 of an inning without a run here, kind of put out the fire after a bit of a run out for Mitch Talbot, but Mitch so effective in last year's opening day. We kind of talking about with Kevin, who exited the broadcast booth. Mitch was so effective with the Skeeters last year. It's almost like that bar was set so high. You're expecting him to come out and throw 6 scoreless innings, and obviously that's not how it goes on every night. And I'm sure Mitch will bounce back here in grand fashion. As the first pitch to Griffin is across for strike 1, and the second pitch in there for a strike. I'm not above shameless plugs, and this is my first broadcast, so I will do some shout-outs. My shout-out to my girlfriend, Della, and my aunt, Kelly, listening back there into Dallas. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. As Marriott misses down and away for a ball, 1-2. My family is one of those families that they're very clingy in a good way. Everyone, I'm sure there's a lot of them listening right now, and I appreciate it. They're my biggest support system, and I was pretty nervous to get on the air for the first time tonight, but feel a little more comfortable as the innings are going on here. Wish I was telling you about a Skeeters victory, but I'm sure we'll get to that later as John Griffin swings and misses over there on the cut fastball for Michael Marriott for strike 1, or out number 1 here in the top of the 5th inning. And that'll bring up the backstop for the Blue Crabs. It's Charlie Valerio. He's 0 for 2 at the ground out in the first inning. The 3-6, kind of an unorthodox put out there. James Loney fired across the inning, and an unassisted put out from Loney as well to end the third inning. So he's grounded out twice to the right side and fouls that back to the left side for strike 1. So Michael Marriott, he's an alumni of the University of Nebraska, a Cornhusker guy. Pitched with the Royals in 2015 and 2014, as well as the Phillies in 2016. Another one of the many former major leaguers as Valero grounds out to the right side. Base hit as McElroy will corral that one. Fire back into the infield. And that'll bring back to the dish Tony Thomas, who is returned to Constellation Field. Unfortunately, hit a solo home run in his last at bat. Tony, it's hard to root against him. He's honestly one of the really good guys that we've had come through here. Part of this championship team. I mean, besides the grand slam which he hit, which was going to go down in Skeeters lore, just a very good dude, very nice, very helpful around the community aspect of stuff as Michael Marriott fires across the fastball for ball one. As you're hearing DJ Teddy spinning those tracks, Bloodlot Ice House is packed tonight, folks. It is brimming. Great job by DJ Teddy. And Marriott gets that across for strike one. We're just waiting on some Skeeters runs, and we saw so many of them last year. As we mentioned, the Skeeters 81-45 last year. Second most wins in franchise history. Trailing the Blue Crabs 6-0 right now with one away in the top of the fifth. As Thomas chops that one to Silverio. Let's see where he goes. He's going to fire to Prince. Prince over to Loney, not in time. So they do get one there as Tony Thomas is safe on the fielder's choice. So one away, going to bring up Corey Vaughn. He was a part of that back-to-back tandem there last inning. And Corey Vaughn, much like his father, Greg Vaughn, he's got some pop in that bat. We saw him hit one to the Ice House. I hope people are paying attention out there. That's a place where you can kind of lose focus. Just it's a good spot to watch the game, but at the same time, it's a place where you might be throwing back a few adult beverages and not really paying attention to what's going on in the field. But I think everyone's all right out there. So 2 away here in the top of the fifth, and we got a time called. Didn't really see who called that. So John Griffin struck out swinging to begin the inning, and Tony Thomas with the fielder's choice there. Michael Marriott on the mound for the Skeeters last year. Michael joined us in August 2018, went 0-0 with a 1.92 ERA and 4 starts, and he threw a scoreless inning of relief in the 2018 Atlantic League postseason. And Corey Vaughn, did he go? He did not go. So 2-0 now to Corey Vaughn, who played under Padre great Tony Gwynn out at San Diego State. Read a few stories how Tony did a pretty instrumental job, or Greg did a pretty instrumental job of getting him to go play for Tony. Obviously, they were teammates on a 1998 World Series team for the Padres. The 1-0 from Vaughn is slapped to the left side. So I know he's listening probably right now to our video coordinator, Brandon MacArthur, who I'm sure we'll get him in the booth here. He's going to actually be my sub when I have to miss some games. He always gets on me because I will always find a way to shamelessly plug the city of San Diego into anything. You are going to hear that this year probably a little bit too much. It might be a little insufferable. I can't help it. That's just the way my brain works. Whenever I see a guy, I always think of how I can tie it back to San Diego. And Corey Vaughn looks at that one inside. Marriott catches the inside corner for strike 2, so 1-2 is the count. You'd be surprised. A lot of players, a lot of athletes, a lot of celebrities have gone through there. It's a beautiful city. Proud to be from there. So yeah, like I said, you'll probably hear me just mention that way too many times this year. So Michael Marriott, 1-2 count, 2 out here in the top of the fifth. Coco with the back pick, and they got him. Albert Cordero picks off Tony Thomas at first base. That's going to do it here in the top of the fifth. Blue Crabs get just the fielders, just the single there from Valerio, the catcher, but that's all they get. No runs. They do hold on to a 6-0 lead here over the Sugar Land Skeeters on opening day here at Constellation Field. We are heading to the bottom of the fifth. Thank you for tuning in to the Skeeters Broadcast Network.
Thank you, Shane. All right, fans, you heard the man. He said audience participation. All righty, it's going to be the first base side who's got a bit of a head start against the third base side. All right, let's go third base side. 3, 2, 1, drop it. All right, there is still a chance, though. It's a race to home. Whoever gets that eyeball there first is going to be our winner. They're going quick. And it was pretty quick. First base side had a bit of a head start, but they are going to be their winners of the eye drop, brought to you by Man Eye Institute. Back up to you, Shane.
Looks like we have a judge's decision. First base side, because of the false start, has been disqualified. Oh, I know it. Third base side, you're the winner. Congratulations. You're also now my friends. Thank you very much. Sugar Land Man Eye Institute, unwavering commitment to personalized patient care, gaining surgical expertise, and outstanding results in American practice reputation. Right now, tonight here. Skeeters fans, Man Eye is offering you $1,000 off your LASIK procedure. That's right. Just for being a fan of the Skeeter. Make sure to mention Skeeters when visiting Man Eye to receive a discount. Check them out, maneye.com. And leading up for your Sugar Land Skeeters, and number 4, CJ.
It's opening day, folks. Welcome back to the Sugar Land Skeeters broadcast booth here at Constellation Field. It's rally time for your Skeeters. We head to the bottom of the 5th. They trail the Blue Crabs 6-0 here on opening day. CJ McElroy stepping in against Blue Crabs rider Dell Thompson, and the first pitch is in for a strike as McElroy watches it sail on by. CJ McElroy, as I mentioned, a native of League City, Texas, so a local guy back on the scene for the Skeeters, and swings and misses through that breaking ball for strike 2. I'm hoping that we get a chance at some point today. I'm not, so he doesn't prove me a liar. CJ McElroy is one of the faster players in the Skeeters and takes that one up. My goal is at some point this year, him and Alvaro Rondon have a foot race. I don't know what will spur that, but it's just a hope of mine that at some point we will see that. And McElroy smashed that left side. Holy cow. That hit off the upper facing of Constellation Field, the upper deck, and went out into the picnic plaza and left. As I mentioned, it's rally time for your Skeeters. It's been a tough start to this 2018 season, but 81 wins last year. I do promise you they will have plenty of them this year. The 1-2 from Thompson is up, misses in, so evens the count at 2-2. Just 3 hits so far for your Skeeters through 4 innings. Jared Mitchell with a single, James Loney with a single, and Juan Severio also with a single. And CJ McElroy gets a hold of that one to center field. The ball is carrying, but Corey Vaughn is under that, just a few steps in front of the warning track. That'll be good for out number 1 to get things going here in the 5th. And another visitor into the broadcast booth, Jessica Munoz, our field host. I don't know how you have any free time during a game to come up here, but I do appreciate it.
I love it. I wanted to come up and say hi.
Yeah, I immensely appreciate it. You are the 3rd visitor into the broadcast booth tonight.
It's opening night. You got to go big.
No, I love it. I love having people come up here. We're just gonna talk shop while the Skeeters play some baseball as Jared Mitchell steps in, takes ball 1. So how's it going on your first? This is opening day for you too as a field host.
It is, and it's been a great season so far for sure. The fans outside are going crazy. There's plenty of them out there coming out for that replica ring giveaway tonight. Seeing lots of bling out in the fans.
Yeah, no, a great crowd. The ice house is bumping like DJ Teddy's music's coming through almost pretty loud and clear.
I was sitting next to the first base dugout and I could hear it too.
Yeah. So what's your what's been the coolest part about you for tonight as being the field host? What's been like the coolest interaction you've had so far?
It's always good to be back, especially on the first night. Just getting to see the fans you haven't seen in a few months in the off season, and they're like, "How you been? What's going on?" And just catching up. And I love to be back, and I love watching these Skeeters play baseball.
Jared Mitchell lines that into the left center field gap, but is corralled by Corey Vaughn. Jared Mitchell showing a nice opposite field approach so far. He had a fly ball to deep left fielder in his first at bat. opposite field single, and then the fly ball there, which Corey Vaughn was able to corral. So you guys are going to see Jessica all the time this year on the feed. If you're watching on YouTube, like during half innings, you're going to see her doing Whataburger races, I drop races like you saw last inning. You're going to see some trivia, I believe.
I'm always out doing something. Yeah, we do trivia up in the stands, baseball movie, one of my favorite ones. I get to test all the fans' knowledge of how well they know these baseball movies.
That's great. I love baseball movies, and Josh Prince, second baseman, pops that one up. Valerio was under it. He'll take care of it, no problem. So a quick 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the fifth. The Blue Crabs still hanging on to a 6-0 lead. You're listening to the Sugar Land Skeeters broadcast, and we'll be back in just a few. Welcome back into the broadcast booth here at Constellation Field. Ryan Posner on the mic. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs holding a 6-0 lead over the Sugar Land Skeeters as we head to the top of the sixth. And stepping into the batter's box is Corey Vaughn. As you mentioned, Corey is the son of big league veteran Greg Vaughn. I already told you I'm going to drop you San Diego stats as much as I can, and I really hope Brandon MacArthur, our video coordinator, he's controlling what you guys see on our YouTube feed tonight. Like I said, I hope you guys just get used to the San Diego references. And Corey takes outside for ball one. His dad, Greg Vaughn, in 1998 hit 50 home runs, which still to this day stands as the Padres' single-season record. So I know a lot of you listening probably aren't Padres fans, so there's some knowledge dropped on you right there. DJ Teddy got some chinky right third, blaring out there in right center field. I mean, I can't really tell how loud it is because my headphones are in, but it's blaring. She's trying to provide some energy. We need some energy here. Michael Marriott still on the mound for the Skeeters. As I mentioned, we trail 6-0 the Blue Crabs here as Corey Vaughn takes strike one, 2-1 the count. So Corey was a 4th-round pick in 2010 out of San Diego State, like I mentioned. Also a 43rd-round pick in the 2007 draft out of Jesuit High School. And Corey swings and misses there. A nice cut fastball by Michael Marriott, who's really coming in, just done a fantastic job in relief of Mitch Talbot, who, you know, really inconvenient. I mean, Mitch has been one of the sharpest pitchers when you look at it. On this is not hyperbole. He's been one of the better pitchers in Skeeters history when you consider longevity and how effective he is. And just an unfortunate kind of rough outing for him tonight. But we know Mitch is going to bounce back. He had 3 1/3, 6 runs, 6 earned on the 8 hits. But Corey fouls that back. We're not able to hang on. But through an inning 2/3, just 2 hits, a strikeout for Michael Marriott thus far. Michael worked as a starter most of last year, but he's going to begin the season out of the bullpen. But he's a guy that can definitely fill both roles when called upon. as Corey Vaughn spinks out to the right side off the 40 sign in foul territory. It's going to kick into fair territory as Josh Prince feels that. And Jessica is no longer at the booth with me, but she passed along a very good note. Tonight is Josh Prince's mom's Kathy's birthday. So Kathy Prince, happy birthday to you. I'm sure you're not listening, but if you do hear this broadcast, we are wishing you the best on your birthday. And Michael Marriott gets Corey Vaughn swinging and missing there on the breaking ball. Strike 3. So one down here. As you mentioned, Michael Marriott doing an absolute fantastic job out of the bullpen here for the Skeeters. We mentioned he went 0-0 with a 192 ERA and 4 starts last season with the Skeeters, but then he went to the bullpen in the Atlantic League postseason where he threw a scoreless inning of relief. With one down here, in steps Edwin Garcia for the Blue Crabs. He takes strike 1. After watching last year, I'm being a bit of a homer here. I just don't think this game is anywhere close to being decided with the Skeeters, the way they scored runs last year, and just the kind of cardiac moments they'd put you through. You just know you gotta just stay tight. Listen to the rest of this one. I'm sure it's going to be a close one as Garcia looks at strike 2 there. And Marriott 0-2 throws a waste pitch there in the dirt on the breaking ball. Can't get Garcia to swing, so 1-2 is the count. So 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors to the Blue Crabs. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for your Sugarland Skeeters. And Garcia pops that one up in foul territory. James Loney moving toward the dugout. Let's see if he's got a play on the railing, and is not able to come away with it as it bounces off the warning track and over the dugout. That's a tough play to make right there. James Loney, a long time first baseman in the major league, so just to give you an idea of how tough those plays are to make. So 1-2 now, the count to Edwin Garcia. Garcia on this fine evening is 2 for 2 with a run scored. His last at bat singled. Came around to score on an RBI triple from Ruby Silva, and that one misses low for Marriott, so 2-2 is the count. We're just past the 9 o'clock hour here at Constellation Field. A great crowd on hand here to witness opening day. We are the first team to get underway in the Atlantic League, and it's my pleasure to be bringing this broadcast to you guys as baseball is back in Sugarland. And that on a couple of hops is over to Loney. He'll take it himself, and that is now 2 away here in the top of the 6th inning. And in steps Angelis Nina, 1 for 3 on the evening, led off the game with a single. Struck out looking, also was aboard the fielder's choice back in the 4th. Shout out to Shay Villarreal doing the music, a little DMB, a little Dave Matthews Band here. As I mentioned earlier, we're doing visitors walk-up music this year, kind of a new feel, which I am absolutely all here for. And Nina, nice breaking ball for Michael Marriott, who continues to do a fantastic job in relief here. Gets strike 1 across. Marriott with 2 strikeouts now through 2 1/3 innings of work. He's faced 7 batters. The 0-1 pitch misses inside, so 1-1 now the count to Nina. Constellation Field's got a little bit of everything for everybody. I'm looking out at the sport court in left center field. A lot of baskets being drained. Out in right field, DJ Teddy's spinning the tracks in the ice house, and that one's grounded up the middle. Josh Prince has got it. He'll make the throw to Loney, and that's going to do it here in the top of the 6th. So no runs, no hits for the Blue Crabs here. They still hang on to a 6-0 lead over the Sugarland Skeeters. I think it's time for some runs. What do you guys think? We'll be back here in just a few, and we'll see about that. I'll say it again, and it bears repeating. I'm a broken record, but it is opening day here at Constellation Field. Sugar Land Skeeters baseball is back here in the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball. Alvaro Rondon's actually going to get us started here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Going to be taking over for Cody Ashley as he swings and misses here through strike 1 with Daryl Thompson still on the mound. Quick shout out to my dad, Richard Posner, listening, and I mentioned people will be commenting in the comment section. He is doing that already, and I appreciate that. I told you I've got a very strong support system with my family, and I appreciate them all listening as Alvaro Rondon swings over the top of that one for strike 2. So Alvaro Rondon enters for Cody Ashley, who's playing left field, and he checks that swing. He did not go around. Alvaro Rondon, in his first year with the Skeeters, made quite the impression. Stole a team-high 38 bases, and more importantly, was named the Community Man of the Year. Was one of the better guys in the clubhouse, and does so much. I mean, a quick anecdote: we were playing, I believe it was Wharton College on Saturday night here, and during the game, a young fan was kind of just chatting with him in the dugout while the game was going on. And Alvaro, more than happy to be a mentor to young fans, as the backdoor breaking ball from Thompson does not go, so 2-2. But Alvaro, I saw a video of him just chatting with a young fan. I mean, he is such a great ambassador for this organization, and we are so pleased to have him back again for this year. And again, his first at-bat of the 2019 season. So 2-2, ball misses up. So a full count here to Alvaro Rondon, getting his first look in action here at the 2019 season. Fouls that one back, left field. I had to give Alvaro a little bit of the business last night at our Meet the Team dinner. I told him he filled up the stat sheet in a lot of ways. Just one stat he didn't have was a home run. Alvaro, he can run the crap out of the bases, but he did not have a home run last year. It's already tough enough to get one out to right field, and I asked him if he hits one, and he didn't give me a big bat flip, as that one swings and misses, or caught looking there for strike 3. So one down here in the 6th, but finished that story. He told me he'd give me a bat flip better than Jose Batista did in the American League Division Series a few years back with the Rangers and the Blue Jays. So I'm looking forward to that when it does come, Alvaro. So Alvaro down on strikes, looking here to begin things in the top of the 6th. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Brian Court, 0 for 2, struck out looking and grounded out so far tonight. Mentioned Court, former farmhand of the Chicago Cubs, spent last year with AAA Iowa. First pitch swinging, fouls that one back. Strike 1. Fellow bat boy, Tank Shotley, making his way to the middle of the field as it Tank's first season with the Skeeters. So 6-0 lead for the Blue Crabs here. Bottom of the 6th at Constellation Field. Opening day here. Court fouls that one off to the right, into the stands. So those who I'm sure were watching the NFL draft tonight, Kyler Murray, as it was suspected, did indeed go first overall to the Arizona Cardinals. The two-way star for the University of Oklahoma, drafted by the Oakland A's in last year's MLB draft. As the 0-2 to Court, catches the outside corner as Daryl Thompson stumbles up the mound out there. And Court does not like that call, and I can't say I disagree with him there. But nonetheless, he's caught looking there. Strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts looking here to get things going in the bottom of the 6th. That's going to bring up the first baseman, James Loney. And hate to be for lack of knowledge, his last at-bat, he became the first player to be awarded a base via the shifting rule in the Atlantic League MLB partnership. As we mentioned, only 2 players can be to the right of second base. And that last at-bat, Loney was awarded a base because there was a third infielder on the right side as he takes ball 1 on the outside part of the plate. I don't know how that scored. I'm looking at our live scoring here. He is only 1 for 2. He had a single off the glove of Daryl Thompson back in the 2nd inning, so that's the hit. So it was not awarded as a hit as he skies that one into the infield. Angeles Nina is under it. And having some trouble, but he is able to corral it. And that'll do it here through 6. The Southern Maryland Blue Crab is hanging on to a 6-0 lead over your defending champion, Sugarland Skeeters. Thank you for listening to the Sugarland Skeeters Broadcast Network. We'll be back here for the top of the 7th.
Thank you, Shane. I have 4 contestants down here ready to spin around and play some tic-tac-toe. All right, guys, when I say so, your head's going to go down on the bat on the ground, spin around 3 times. Once you do that, grab your letter and run to the board, and the goal is tic-tac-toe. All right, you ready? Set, spin. All right, we got one fan spinning nice and fast. Ready, letter going down. All right, go ahead and grab that letter and run to the board. All righty. Oh, come here, girls. Come here. All righty. And we've got another fan running down. Team O is going away. It looks like we have a replacement team coming in quickly. Ready? They're cute. This is what's happening. We got it. All right, we got an X down. Going for the block. All right. So you're going to have to move this last letter, my friend. Start spinning. Quick, quick, quick. I swear we've done this before. Give them some encouragement, though. They're trying their best. We're doing a good job. I think we're going to have to call this one a wash. I'm not really sure. Shane, what do you think?
And low head of the 7th inning here at opening day at Constellation Field. Your Skeeters got some work to do, trailing 6-0 against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And my 4th guest of the evening, Christopher Parsons. Chris, who, for those of you who don't know, was one of our are you our longest tenured employee? He's shaking his head yes.
9.5 years.
9.5 freaking years. That is awesome, dude.
When there was no ballpark here.
It wasn't a ballpark. Him and our new president, Christopher Hill, both kind of the first boots on the ground per se here in Sugarland, as Michael Marriott's back out for another inning of work for your Skeeters in relief. Ruby Silva leading off the inning. So Parsons, how's your opening day been going?
Whew. I'm glad we got the game started, and then it's kind of relaxed and talk to clients.
Yeah, it's been.
We got the ring ceremony over. Guys loved them.
Yeah.
So that's a relief. Everybody's fit. So it's baseball time now.
It's baseball time. All we need is some Skeeter runs. That's all we're waiting on here as Michael Marriott misses low there. 2-1 the count.
Pause. I think we're a little distracted by the uniforms.
Yeah.
By the Southern Maryland uniforms.
What's the deal with? I mean, I don't know if I dislike them, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
It's the Blue Crabs are blue. I mean, that's the thing is Alvaro Rondon's going to be tested quickly here. Throw across the diamond, gets Ruby Silva, and Rondon, who is now in for Ryan Court on defense, gets a quick out here to get things going at the top of the 7th. Rondo's got an absolute cannon there at short.
Yeah, that was bang, bang.
First time we got to see it this year as he's entered in for Ryan Court, who I believe is done for the evening. Unless he's out there in left field. I need to get binoculars. I'll be quite honest. That's a purchase I will have here shortly for you guys. As Frank Martinez, the third baseman, who's done a little bit of damage tonight as an RBI single and double to his credit in swings and misses.
Hey, Paz, you 7th inning stretch coming up? Take me out to the ball game.
I don't think nobody should have to go through that to hear me sing a song.
I already did it. You need to continue the tradition.
I think either Shane is going to sing it tonight or somebody in the crowd is going to sing it. And I think that's the way to go about that. As this one's chopped to the right side. Marriott's going to cover the bag. And there's that PFP pitching. Oh, and they call him safe. And I don't see a lot of argument there from Marriott or Loney. It looks like Marriott stumbled over the base, but I guess he did not. But nonetheless, I guess a leadoff single there for Frank Martinez. Parsons letting me know the crowd mic was a little hot. I had to turn up a little bit because I wanted everyone to hear that ring ceremony. I just never turned it down. So that's probably why everyone was hearing DJ Teddy pretty loudly through the first.
I have not been out there to hear DJ Teddy yet.
I mean, you can hear from anywhere you're in the ballpark, apparently.
I've been upstairs.
Okay. So one down here. The DH for the Blue Crabs, Craig Maddox, is going to come up here. I guess we'll give Frank Martinez a single there. We'll see how they score that.
So you liking the track, man?
So it's not up yet. Like the exit velocity stuff like that is not live yet. But it is nice to have the interface. I'm looking at like an MLB.com type box score here.
And I think you can see the balls and strikes. Don't they have the little?
So this is where the play-by-play is. We're doing a little theater of the mind. We're waiting. We're waiting on the extra stuff to come in through TrackMan. It'll be here shortly. This is where, for Parsons, you're looking at. This is where it would show up on my screen, but not there yet. And there's probably going to be too much information, so I'll have to temper myself when I do. I have the keys to the car, but for now we are in the waiting mode as Maddox fouls that one back. 0-2 the count to the DH for the Blue Crabs. 0-3 tonight, grounded into a double play, struck out swinging, and also grounded out back to the pitcher. So a very uncharacteristic rough outing tonight for Mitch Talbot. And as I mentioned, I mean, not hyperbole to say one of the most prolific pitchers in Skeeters history. Michael Marriott's done a fantastic job, though, in relief, putting up 0 after 0. He's now through 3 innings even as Maddox hits that one deep to the right side, but it will be out of play for no damage done.
So how's the first broadcast going?
It's been good. I've had people like you come in here and kind of just keep me company, which is nice. Taking away the nerves. I was pretty nervous. I was probably talking at like a Mach 10 when I started the broadcast. But I think I've slowed down a little bit. I'm already a fast talker to begin with. I've offered people to let me know on YouTube if I'm talking too fast or if I make an error. Just let me know. Just let me know, and I'll try to fix that. As that one's grounded, Rondon with a little bit of a weird read gets over to Prince. They fire back to Loney. Not in time, but they do get the one there at second base. So Martinez goes down for out number 2, and Maddox reaches on the fielder's choice, 6-4. Multi-Apple's listening once again. He's in an Atlantic League.
Is that the
staple.
Long Island guy?
I don't know, but he is probably our most avid listener. So another shout out to Multi-Apple's. Wherever you are, we thank you. You can always count on Multi-Apple's if you're listening to us. And then High Point Rockers Diehard says, you heard it here first, High Point, Somerset, or York and Lancaster in the playoffs. So
okay, let's be real.
That's a bit of a hot take here. I mean, the Skeeters trail 6-0, but they did win 81 games last year after all, so fair to think they might find themselves back in the postseason once again. John Griffin takes ball 1 from Michael Marriott. And Multi-Apples confirms he is indeed a Long Island Ducks fan. So
sorry about last year.
Yeah, it's okay, but he still listens as Griffin just gets that one over Rondon at shortstop for a base hit. So a 2-out single from John Griffin, the first baseman. Guess that mic is still pretty hot. So runners on first and second here. In the top of the 7th, Blue Crabs hanging on to that 6-0 lead. It's opening day for all of the Atlantic League today. So
no,
well,
we're the only game tonight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're the first game.
Oh, you're saying for everyone else is playing tonight. Yeah, you're right.
We're batting leadoff per se.
Gotta start with the champs.
Yeah, absolutely. No better place to start. So we were talking about those uniforms. Let me get your opinion on them. Let's hear the Chris Parsons breakdown of the Blue Crabs uniform.
It just makes me wonder what we could do with the Texas flag.
Parsons is, for those that don't know, is very involved on our special edition uniform. So to hear him say that might be a look into the future, into the future. Ooh. Oh, and that one's hit well to right field. Back goes C.J. McElroy. He looks up, and that's going to fall into the grassland. A 3-run home run for Charlie Valerio, the backstop for the Blue Crabs. Going to stake them to a 9-0 lead here as Michael Marriott was cruising along up until this point, and Valerio finds the grassland in right field for a 3-run home run. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say it. We're not used to seeing this a lot last year. We mentioned in the broadcast 52 home wins, 52-21 the record here at Constellation Field last year. We saw a lot of good baseball at home. I'd venture to say without looking, I can't remember a game they trailed by as many as 9 runs at home. So a bit of a rough start, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. That's the biggest cliche in the book, and I'm not afraid to use it. As one down here, Tony Thomas, who already left the yard, and I don't know why. I just feel like that. We do have 2 down. Thank you, Chris. 2 down. Scoreboard reading 1 out, but it's all good. I gotta rely on my score sheet. That's the new broadcaster in me. But I just had this weird feeling Tony was gonna leave the yard tonight, and I was hoping it was gonna be just like a solo home run where we're winning like 10-0, and he just kind of inconsequentially hit a solo shot. But
Right.
he did hit a home run tonight. That home run came back in the 4th inning. Him and Corey Vaughn went back-to-back to open things up, which was kind of the beginning of the end there for Mitch Talbot back in the 4th. So 0-2 to Tony. He skies at the right. James Loney looks at it, but it's going to get into the stands for a foul ball. So 0-2.
So who else joined you tonight?
So we had Doug came in for a few innings, I believe, back in the 2nd and 3rd. Kevin came in for a few innings. Kevin Zlotnick, our owner. Kevin came in right as Tony Thomas and Corey Vaughn hit back-to-back home runs. So Kevin's ERA as a color analyst is not great. 0-2 to Tony. Swung on a miss. Nice breaking pitch from Marriott. Albert Cordero is going to scoop that up, fire across the Loney. So that's going to do it here. But the damage was done. A 3-run home run from Charlie Valerio, the catcher for the Blue Crabs, stakes them to a 9-0 lead here. It is stretch time at Constellation Field. It is opening day. Your Skeeters are coming back to back here in the bottom 7th. And welcome back to Constellation Field. Going into the bottom of the 7th, the Blue Crabs holding on to a 9-0 lead. 9 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Blue Crabs, no runs, 3 hits, 0 errors for your Sugarland Skeeters. Got a new pitcher on the mound making his season debut for the Blue Crabs. It's the right-hander Miguel Nunez in his first season with the Blue Crabs. He last played in 2017-18 in the Venezuelan Winter League with the Caribes Day. I got Doug failing in here. I'm going to need a pronunciation on this, Doug. Yeah, you're being called into action here. Caribes Day. Anza takeaway?
You got it.
Okay, so that's where right-hander Miguel Nunez pitched last for the Blue Crabs. He's making his season debut.
I mean, I don't know how you didn't know that one. That's a pretty popular place.
Yeah, I mean, that's shame on me. As Juan Silverio steps in, I was being heckled in the half inning because I wasn't singing the 7th inning stretch. And I think if they heard me sing the 7th inning stretch, that heckling would have just came to a screeching halt.
Yeah, that's typically where I go to a closet and sing by myself.
So Juan Silverio swings and misses strike 1. It's been a tough night for your Skeeters, but Still an exciting day, opening day. The ballpark energy, you really feel it. The replica championship rings were certainly a good draw to bring everyone around here tonight. The grassland was pumped. Hopefully no one got hurt out there with that home run last inning. Severio
told you there was back. Definitely told you there was ball going out tonight. Unfortunately, it was not in our favor.
Well, Kevin stepped into the booth in the fourth, and pretty much on cue, Tony Thomas hit a home run to left field, then Corey Vaughn hit one to right, and then Charlie Valerio, the catcher, with his 3-run homer last inning. So the balls have been flying, but unfortunately not for the Skeeters.
Still a long season.
Long season, a long game as Silverio swings and misses. So Nunez gets a strikeout here to open things up in the bottom of the 7th. It's just so weird. I mean, like, I've only seen one season of Skeeters baseball. It was last year under Pete, 81-45. So I'm used to a little bit different. But I mean, I'm sure that tomorrow night we're going to see him come back, Connor Wade on the mound, and we'll see him rebound in a glorious fashion.
For sure. I was down there in the dugout at the bottom of the 5th for doing the drag, and nobody's out of this game. Everybody's still down there.
Good.
They're in this game.
It's good to hear. As Albert Cordero steps in and takes that one outside for ball 1. That's the thing, is there are guys like James Loney, Mark Lowy, he's in the bullpen, obviously. I mean, 11-year Major League veterans who, those are the kind of guys that are so invaluable to have around, you know. When things are going bad or things are going good, they're so even keeled. You wouldn't know how it's going. As Coco takes that one upstairs, 2-0.
Yeah, when you're in a bad spot, I mean, you can't beat good experience. I mean, that you just.
Yep. This is by far and away one of the most talented teams in the Atlantic League, and I guess that's the beauty of baseball, is really on any night there's no telling what's going to happen. You could have, as Coco works at 3-0 count, you could have the Murderers Row New York Yankees go up against the Miami Marlins this year, and you know what? If they played 10 times, the Miami Marlins probably win once.
Yeah.
So.
Which is why whenever it comes to postseason baseball, I mean, it's got the best postseason out of anybody.
It's such a tough thing to predict. As your Skeeters trail 9-0 here on opening day, and Coco taking all the way there and misses. That one's in for a strike. And it's even just weirder because Skeeters were 14-5 against the Blue Crabs last year. A Blue Crabs team that is, you know, mostly the same. They have a lot of the same faces. Guys like Corey Vaughn, Angelis Nini are back for them, as Albert Cordero draws the walk here with one away in the 7th inning. So Coco, who was 0 for 2 entering that at bat, is on for the first time this season. It's going to bring up Dennis Phipps, who's also 0 for 2. Grounded out to the first baseman in the 2nd inning. Struck out looking in the 4th. So Miguel Nunez, a native of La Romana, Dominican Republic. Listed at 6'6", 215 pounds on Baseball Reference, so a pretty big fella.
He's a big man.
Yeah, that's it's big man versus big man right here. Who do you take in this battle of big mans, Doug?
I always take the Skeeters.
There you go. Good answer. Dennis Phipps up to bat for the Skeeters, and the slider there misses inside for ball 1. So Miguel Nunez has spent all of his time in the minor leagues with the Phillies, but started with them in 2010 and last appeared with them in 2017 with AA Reading in the Eastern League. As Phipps takes that one inside for strike 1. So 1-1, one down here in the bottom of the 7th. Southern Maryland out to a 9-0 lead on what is opening day for the entire Atlantic League. Tomorrow, the rest of the teams will be in action, but the Skeeters getting a bad leadoff, and this is the championship rite of passage, I guess.
I will say with the new rule changes, that one of the big things was it's supposed to speed up the game, you know, to make it feel like it's going a little quicker, and I'm not feeling that tonight. I don't know if that's maybe just this game or if maybe it's going to change throughout the season, but
I think it might just be this game. You know, it's tough to look at things in a vacuum, but you are right, though. The game is certainly one of the longer ones. As Phipps hits that one in the right center gap. That's trouble for Silva in right field, but he's able to run it down in the gap near the Bud Light Ice House. A nice play by Ruby Silva, the right fielder for the Blue Crabs, is able to track that and put it away for the second out of the 7th inning. So C.J. McElroy going to come back to the dish here. He's 0 for 2. He flew out to the center fielder in his last at-bat. Also a ground out to the third baseman in the 2nd inning. Did you see his diving almost near catch a few innings back?
Unfortunately, I did not. I was getting ready to pull or drag for the grounds crew.
Okay. It was a pretty good shot by Ruby Silva. The guy just made the play out there to right field as McElroy. The ball gets away. Coco's on the move. Valerio will not even throw as wild pitch will move Albert Cordero up to second base here. Runner in scoring position with 2 away for your Skeeters. But, man, oh, man, Ruby Silva struck one in the right center gap, and it looked like it was going to hang up for maybe Jared Mitchell, but then all of a sudden CJ full extension dive, and it looked like he caught it because he smothered it, but then it kicked up, bounced off the wall. But he's got absolutely blazing speed, so not surprising that he was able to almost make a fantastic play like that. And that will be taken for strike one, so 1-1 is the count. Joined by Douglas Failing once again, our operations manager. He's going to be in the booth with me for a while. Doug is a big baseball fan, and unfortunately he's a fan of the Kansas City Royals, which right now is not really a good time to be a Royals fan, but not too long ago it was a good time. So that's the fruits of baseball, the ups and the downs.
It was a good time back in 2015 when we won the championship, but right now I got to take the small victories. We're not in last place, second to last, but we're not in last place.
That's spoken like a true Royals fan this year. We are not in last place.
You know, I know.
As McElroy takes that one for strike two.
Small victories. Got some good first-round picks last year.
Yep.
And some pitching. We just got to start working on the bullpen. Got a lot of young talent, so we'll be back in a couple years.
Let's stick with the cliches. It's a process.
Yeah, it's always a process, especially when you don't want to spend money.
Yep, that's how it goes. Tank it till you make it. So 1-2 to C.J. McElroy. Misses outside for Miguel Nunez, the former Philadelphia Phillies farmhand, making his Southern Maryland Blue Crabs debut.
That's a tongue twister. I'm not going to try to say that.
I wouldn't try that at home. I wouldn't suggest it. So the Blue Crabs, who donned red jerseys last year, and we put up red crabs on the jersey, and now they are, I guess, the yellow crabs. And McElroy swings over the top of that one. Strike three. So Nunez allows the walk to Cordero. We got the second base on a wild pitch, but he will leave him there. Blue Crabs hang on to a 9-0 lead over your Sugarland Skeeters on opening day. You're listening to Sugarland Skeeters Baseball. We'll be back in just a few.
Thank you, Shane. I have $50 cash in this envelope for a lucky season ticket holder out there. Who wants some money? Let's see where we're going to go tonight. All righty. Oh, man. Well, I'm not going to run all the way up here, but I am looking up in the Insperity Club. Let's see. Oh, number 3, row FC1. I can't see all the way up there, so we're going to have to check, and I will let you know, Shane, who's going to win $50. Back up to you.
And you're looking live on Constellation Field. It's opening day here in the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball. Your Sugarland Skeeters trail the Blue Crabs 9-0. through 7 innings of work. We got a new pitcher on the mound. Welcome back to Constellation Field, Lucas Irvin. The right-hander went 1-1 with a 3.41 ERA in 6 starts in last year's regular season. He made 2 starts in the 2018 postseason, went 1-0 with a 2.89 ERA. So a big part of the Skeeters for championship last year. Not their first, I almost said their first. It was second in the last 3 years, as Corey Vaughn is stepping in to get things going for the Blue Crabs. Corey Vaughn, the center fielder, had the home run back in the 4th inning to the Bud Light Ice House, which was an absolute missile into the ice house. And if people were mad at DJ Teddy making noise, I guess Corey Vaughn, they can thank him, because that was a heat-seeking missile out of the equipment out there. Hopefully everything's all right.
I hope so too. I'm the one that has to fix it.
There, yeah. Doug is Mr. Fix-It. If you've ever seen Home Improvement, he is like Tim Allen. I don't know the other guy's name. Yeah, there you go. What's the other guy's name in that show? You're both of them, though.
All right.
He serves as both
Les
of those
Flannel.
guys. Yeah, just Les Flannel. He's rocking the blue polo, as all of us on staff are today. As Corey Vaughn works a 3-0 count to get things going for Lucas Irvin on the mound. Takes over for Michael Marriott. Let's get you the final numbers on Michael, who was having a very solid outing up until last inning. Strike 1 for Irvin. The 3-run home run to Charlie Valerio, the catcher, but through 3 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs. None of them were earned. The 3 strikeouts, and nobody walked. So he came on in relief, did a pretty nice job for Mitch Talbot, who struggled early on in this one. And Corey Vaughn was ready to make his way on to first base, but home plate umpire tells him to get on back. Strike 2 looking. So, yeah, the home run last inning, all 3 of those runs were unearned for Michael, so his ERA is still a 0. As this one's chopped over to Alvaro Rondon on a few hops on the run. Rondo over to James Loney. They got him. So 1 down here in the top of the 8th inning. A nice play from Alvaro Rondon, who took over for Ryan Court back in the 6th inning at shortstop. So Rondon and Cody Stanley are the 2 reserves tonight for the Skeeters. Cody is going to be doing some catching for us from time to time, but Albert Cordero getting the start there tonight. It's going to bring up Edwin Garcia, the shortstop. He is 1 or 2 for 3, grounded out to the first baseman his last at-bat, singled and scored back in the 4th inning. Blue Crabs had 4 runs back in that 4th inning, and his first pitch swinging fouls that one off to the right side. What do you think of the visitors' music? I'm kind of digging it.
I mean, it's a good change.
Yeah.
It's a good change. Last year, we went definitely trying to throw them off a little bit, but
I like it. I mean, it keeps the energy going here as Garcia swings over the top. Strike 2.
I mean, we definitely don't want to give them anything, but we definitely don't want to take it away from the crowd. So
I think in the movie 300, they famously said, "Give them nothing.
Yeah.
Take from them everything." Tonight, we're not writing that script out quite as well, but it is a long season.
It is a very long season, and I mean, even if the scoreboard isn't in our favor, this is a beautiful ballpark, and nothing's better than this.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, Doug, as Edwin Garcia is caught looking for out number 2, strikeout from Lucas Irving. So 2 away now in the 8th inning here. That's going to bring up Angelis Nina, the second baseman, coming in 1 for 4 tonight, single back on the first, but has been retired on his last 3 at-bats. So 2 away here in the top of the 8th. Blue Crabs up 9-0 over the Skeeters. Irvin, first pitch slider, catches the outside corner, and I don't think Nina agreed with him on that, but that's all good.
Yeah, we'll take it.
We will absolutely take it. So 0-1, 2 away, and ball in the dirt. Nice scoop by Coco there. Made that one look easy. Ball in the dirt. So Lucas Irvin, not a stranger to the Atlantic League. This is going to be his 5th season in this league. He appeared with the Camden River Sharks, who are no longer in the league, back in 2013. That's where he made his debut. As this one's chopped, this is going to be a tough play for Silverio. Try a bare hand, and no chance for Silverio. That was just a perfect placement on the chopper there from Nina. Good for an infield single. Going to be his 2nd hit of the night to get things extended here in the 8th. Not much you can do there. Nina with the chopper. Silverio playing pretty far back. Didn't really have a play there. That was not much of a chance. With the 12th hit of the night for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning. Going to bring up Ruby Silva, the right fielder, 2 for 4 with an RBI triple, and his last at-bat fouls that one down the right side. The fan tries to make a play with a hat. Not going to happen.
He made a good scoop earlier.
He did?
He made a good scoop off the wall earlier. So
it's hard to make a play with the hat. It's underrated because it doesn't have a lot of give. It's kind of like the carnival game where you throw into the basket.
Yeah, and it just goes
right
through.
You gotta really you kind of gotta catch it. Take it back a little bit. As Silva fouls that one away. Have you ever caught a foul ball at a baseball game?
Yes, but it was many, many, many years ago off of Mike Sweeney at a Royals game.
Gosh, Mike Sweeney. That's a throwback right there.
Yeah, the last time we were doing pretty bad.
When I think of bad Royals teams, the first name I think about is Mike Sweeney.
Yeah, that poor guy. He stuck it out.
He was a great player.
He's a great player.
I think I associate him with some pretty
bad years.
Yeah. As Ruby Silva downswing in there. Lucas Irvin pumps the fastball right by him. So just the infield single from Angelis Nina, but Lucas Irvin throws a scoreless 8th inning in his debut of the 2019 season. The Blue Crabs do lead 9-0 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Thank you for tuning in once again to the Sugar Land Skeeters broadcast here as we have some work to do here, folks. Blue Crabs holding a 9-0 lead over the Skeeters here as we get going in the bottom of the 8th. A new pitcher on the mound for those Blue Crabs. And this guy has got, if we're going early Atlantic League all-name teams, he is certainly a front-runner. Adam Choplik, the left-hander for the Blue Crabs, going to be making his debut as an independent ball player and with the Blue Crabs. Last year, Adam pitched for AA Frisco just up the road there in Dallas, was 5-1 with a 6.08 ERA and 29 relief appearances. He had 42 strikeouts and 37 innings pitched, but also 22 walks. So a lot of walks, a lot of strikeouts.
Hopefully they're in our favor tonight.
Let's say, yeah, I mean, that's probably why he came here, probably kind of tame that command a little bit. Had to get Doug to temper his excitement just a bit because Doug is a big University of Oklahoma fan.
Yeah.
And that's where Adam Choplik played his college ball.
In this situation, I'm going to have to go against the Sooner, though.
There you go. Good man, good man. And Jared Mitchell gets things going here at the bottom of the 8th. Jared is 1 for 3. He singled back in the 3rd inning, also stole second base, but was stranded there. Skeeter is still seeking that first run of the 2019 campaign. Mitchell with a fly ball to center field, medium depth. Corey Vaughn under it. He'll put it away for out number 1. And that'll bring up Josh Prince, who is, as I mentioned earlier, his mom, Kathy, is celebrating her birthday today. So happy birthday, Kathy, if you happen to be listening.
We'll say, Paz, that's the best thing about having the last name Failing. Never too dejected. I'm always ready for a comeback. I think it can still happen.
There you go. For you already hear first. The comeback is still on. Just 3 hits so far for the Skeeters, but still 5 outs to play with here in this one as Josh Prince looks at strike number 1.
Good old Disney cliche. Anything can happen.
Anything could happen. Josh. Oh, there he goes.
Got flap the wings.
Yeah. I mean, we could definitely use an Angels in the outfield type intervention here as the ball misses low from Choplick. So 1-2 is the count. 1 down here in the bottom of the 8th. Blue Crabs hanging on to that 9-0 lead as we mentioned. And Prince takes that one up and away. I don't think I ever got you guys the line on Daryl Thompson, who, as we mentioned, death, taxes, and Daryl Thompson pitching for the Blue Crabs. He's been there for what seems to be an eon. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. So a very effective outing, and you can see how he's still been able to do it for so long. Still getting the job done for the Blue Crabs as Adam Choplick now in on relief. Josh Prince looks at that low, so he works the full count. Miguel Nunez with a scoreless inning of relief in his Blue Crabs debut. Struck out 2, walked 1. Stranded Albert Cordero at second base to end things in the 7th. So 3-1 the count to Prince. He fouls that one back, so going to bring it full. So Josh going to be doing some double duty this year. He's going to be the hitting coach as well as a player. Going to be seeing him a lot at second base this year. And I asked him yesterday what's his favorite part of coaching while we were doing the team dinner, and he guess you're going to know your teammates better than anybody else when you get to work with them on a basis like that. So he'll be a guy I definitely have some questions for as the year goes on to get a better idea of what this team's all about. So he fouls that one back. Fans will remember Josh, 79 stolen bases in his Skeeters career already, which puts him second all-time. Doug, if I had to give you a guess of who is second all-time in stolen bases, and I'll give you the hint that he is on the roster today, who do you think is second all-time in stolen bases in Skeeters history?
I'm taking a wild stab. I want to say Coco.
Coco, incorrect. Coco not even in the top 10.
Wow.
That was a wild stab indeed. As
definitely
Prince
wild
lines
stab.
that foul down the left side. He didn't play today yet. There's another hint. You gave me that look like I'm just going to have to give it to you. Anthony Jansanti. He is number 2, 66 stolen bases.
Should have known that.
Number
Should've guessed
3
that.
is also on the team, and I'm looking at him right now in the on-deck circle. It's Alvaro Rondon. He stole 38 bases last year. The speedster. So 3-2 to Prince. That ball's up and away. They check down. He did not go. So Josh Prince works a one-out walk here. On base for the first time of the 2019 season. And that's going to bring up Alvaro Rondon, the shortstop. Took over for Ryan Court. Or took over for Cody Ashe, rather. And Ryan Court moved out there to left field. So Cody Ashe will have to check back. He did get hit by a pitch in his first at-bat of the game, hit right in that forearm area. He did look to be in a little bit of pain. We'll check back in and see how he's doing. So Rondon takes that one for strike 1. We're just approaching 10 o'clock here at Sugarland. Doug mentioned it earlier. You know, these rules were meant to speed up the game a little bit, but this one, it's going to be approaching the 3+ hour mark before all is said and done. And Rondon, watch strike 2.
I did get to see earlier that there's a big call with the new rules there at second base.
Yeah.
About the player being in the grass.
James Loney was awarded first base on what was a 4-3 putout, and that's me and Kevin were kind of deciding how do we score that. That's something that also needs to be
discussed.
Yeah, because it wasn't awarded a hit. So, and Rondon watches that 1-1-2, and we're kind of thinking it's kind of almost like a catcher's interference, you know, like something along those lines where it's not a hit, but you don't really know how to score it either. So. We are on the new frontier of baseball here, the cutting edge, a lot of new rules. Some of them you won't really notice right away, like the mound visits. You may not even notice it. Nobody's visiting the mound, but we saw one almost mound visit as Rondon chops that to the right side. Going to be a tough play for Choplick. No play for Choplick as Rondon is aboard with an infield single. Alvaro Rondon just makes it so difficult when he hits the ball on the ground.
Now we have so much speed on the bases, a good hit. Bring a run home for the Skeeters tonight.
And all rise for the Ryan Court. It's in session. Was that a good one or no? Should I bury that?
No, I think that was a good one.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't bring it out every night, but that was a good one.
For opening day, you gotta bring out the big guns for opening day.
Oh, for sure.
So Ryan Court steps in. He is over 3 on the evening. He's struck out twice and grounded out to shortstop as well. And you mentioned having a big hit here. Ryan Court is – I've only got to watch him take batting practice, but he's flashed some pretty massive power. He's a pretty big guy. He's kind of like Carlos Correa for the Astros, a very tall shortstop. He's had a lot of power. Played with the Cubs AAA affiliate, AAA Iowa last year at 11 home runs, 63 RBIs. So runners on second and first and second. One down here in the bottom of the 8th. And Choplik gets across to strike 1-1. And yeah, this is not even fair. So Choplik on that one, Rondon kind of chops it to the right side of the field. As a left-handed pitcher, he's kind of naturally going to drift to that third base side of the bag. That's where the follow-through is going to take him. And so he had to kind of shift his weight. And Choplik's a big dude himself, listed at 6'9". My goodness.
Yeah,
and
you can definitely tell out there on the mound. He's
lanky. His Court hits a one-hopper, smokes it to second base. Nina over to Garcia, over to Griffin, and just like that, the Skeeters rally is thwarted there on the 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Ryan Court. So the Skeeters get 2 on the single from Alvaro Rondon and the walk from Josh Prince, but are unable to capitalize. The Blue Crabs hanging on to a 9-0 lead as we head to the top of the 9th here at Constellation Field.
Thank you, Shane. Well, I have Ryan here in the blue and Hannah in the red, and when I say go, they're going to fight. Easy as that. All right, you guys ready? Square off, set, go. Hannah said no, she was not ready, but she is going hard too. These gloves are pretty heavy. Let's cheer them on as they fight. About 10 more seconds, guys. You got it. Oh, a shot to the face. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, stop. All right, fans, we need to know who won. Who thinks it was Hannah here in the red? Give her some noise. All righty, what about Ryan in the blue? Oh, man. Well, I'm going to have to go with Hannah as our winner of the Big Glove Boxing tonight. Back up to you, Shane.
And we move to the 9th inning here tonight at Constellation Field as the Blue Crabs are out to a 9-0 lead on opening day. Everything was picture perfect tonight besides the score on the field, as the Skeeters are unfortunately trailing right now. You're defending Atlantic League champions, but don't even worry. It's a 7-game series here to open things up. A lot of baseball to be played here over the next week between these Blue Crabs and the Skeeters. And Lucas Irvin back on the mound. He'll get the third baseman, Frank Martinez, has had himself a pretty nice night here. His 2 for 4 with an RBI double and an RBI single. And he swings over the top of that one for strike 1. So 1-1 the count to Frank Martinez, the Blue Crabs' third baseman tonight. Douglas Failing still joining me on the 1s and 2s here as he hits a chopper over to Loney. Covering the bag is Irvin, and a nice pitcher's fielding practice on display right there. The 3-1 putout will get Martinez here to get things going in the 9th.
Do have to throw in a little bit of a shout out right now to our grounds crew. Austin and Andrew Baudier and those guys down there have done a great job with this field, turning it around. As many people know, we host many events here at Constellation Field throughout the year, and they do a great job making sure this field is in top condition for opening day.
I will say this field, I've never seen it look better, and a couple of weeks ago after the Houston SaberCats played here. Just the way that rugby goes, the rugby team in town, as Craig Maddox, the DH, takes ball one. Rugby, you know, it's like, I mean, it's going to tear up the grass. No matter where you go, it's going to tear up grass. So, yeah, shout out to Austin and Andrew down there. They did a fantastic job. Pulled the tarp this morning. Everyone did their job getting the field ready, and that's just the way it goes in minor league baseball. Everyone has a job to fill, and we're always playing a little bit of zone coverage, if you will. You know, we got a tinier staff, but everyone is working so hard to make this such a great day. And besides the score, it really has been a fantastic day as Maddox chops that one foul for a 1-2 count.
Yeah, we got that rain out of here early this morning. It couldn't have been a better day for baseball.
Our president, Chris Hill, says it perfectly. It never rains in the ballpark. Never does. Didn't have one. I'm not even going to say it. I almost said it. I was close. But I'm not going to say it because I'm gonna get reamed by the guys in the control room right now if they heard what I was about to say.
Yeah, don't do it.
I'm just gonna bite my tongue as Craig Maddox fouls that one back. And shout out to the guys in the control room. Shane Brown, our public address announcer, did a fantastic job with the ceremony of the rings earlier. A lot of player introductions and stuff, and just crushed it per usual. As Maddox floats that one. Silverio might have a play in foul territory, can't get to it. So 1-2, so the count. Lucas Irvin's still on the mound. Irvin came in last inning for the Skeeters, making a reappearance for the Skeeters. Inning a third so far, just the one hit, 2 strikeouts through 5 batters faced. So Lucas Irvin's alma mater, he's a 43rd round pick out of Northwestern State. They're going to be rolling through here in a few weeks for the Southland tournament. Another one of the many events Doug referenced that are hosted here, and he sure looked like he went, but, ooh, no dice. So Maddox on the breaking ball in the dirt. It's going to get new life here, 2-2 the count. I misspoke there. So Lucas got drafted twice out of Northwestern State, but the last time it was drafted, which is the one where he entered, was the 27th round of the 2011 MLB draft. Northwestern State, which actually went on to win the Southland tournament that year. Believe their mascot are the Demons. What do we got over there?
We
had
on the
left side?
A great catch out that foul ball that went off on the roof and came back down in the stands. Had a couple bounces, and a kid there in the first row made a great grab.
There you go. Bring your glove to the yard. You never know what might happen, especially here. Really, any seats really in foul ball territory at Constellation Field. And Maddox fouled that one back. I gotta have to play at that without a net.
Yeah, if we didn't have a net, we'd be in foul ball territory.
So when I used to work for the Texas Rangers as a reporter, and their press box was sealed off, and there were a few times where the foul ball just clanked off the glass, and it sounded like someone hit the window with a hammer. I mean, it was one of the loudest sounds I've ever heard in my life, and I heard it the first time, and I freaked out, just about jumped out of my seat, fell over, and everyone else in the press box didn't even flinch. They were just used to it. So that's how you weed out the newbies there in the Globe Life Field press boxes when the foul balls clank off the window. As this one skied into center field, Jerry Mitchell's going to get under it, and he will make the catch for out number 2 here in the top of the 9th. Blue Crabs still hanging on to that 9-0 lead here in an opening day at Constellation Field. And we're going to get a pinch hitter here for the Blue Crabs. It's going to be the infielder, Matt Dean, 6'3", 235-pound right-hander. Last played for the AA affiliate for the Chicago White Sox. He got some sweet walk-up music there. I don't know what that is, but I'll have to ask our music guys who was just playing right there. First pitch from Irvin to Dean is outside for a ball. Matt Dean drafted in the 13th round of the 2011 MLB draft out of the Colony High School in the Colony, Texas. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, I'm not a Texas native, as that one misses outside. Doug, do you know where the Colony, Texas is?
Unfortunately, I'm not a Texas native either, so I couldn't help you with that one.
Nope, there we go. Doug, so you're from Missouri. What town in Missouri are you from?
A small little town called Lexington, Missouri. About 4,700 people.
4,700 people. You're a suburb of Kansas City?
Not quite. We're about 40 minutes east of KC.
Okay, so you're like the suburb of Kansas City.
Yeah.
There you go. Doug Failing is going to be giving us our small town takes whenever we need them here in the broadcast booth. Matt Dean fouls that one back, so 2-2 the count now. 2s are wild. 2-2, 2 outs here on the top of the 9th inning. Skeeters, fortunately, trailing 9-0 here as we are past the 10 o'clock mark on opening day.
Give you perspective, we had more fans in the ballpark tonight that were in my town.
That's a pretty wild concept here. I mean, we had a lot of fans in the park tonight.
We had a great turnout for opening day,
Yeah.
but that's still, I mean, most people go to schools with more of a higher population than what my school or my town does. So
there you go. So it puts I mean, there are definitely some guys on the Skeeters team, from towns like that. I know Cody Stanley comes from a very small town in North Carolina. As Dean skies that one to deep right field, but C.J. McElroy's under it a few steps in front of the warning track. He's got it. So Lucas Irvin, another fine inning of relief, finishes out on a 1-2-3 frame. We'll head to the bottom of the ninth, and we're going to need to rally here, folks, as your Skeeters trail the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs 9-0. And welcome back into the broadcast booth. We head to the bottom of the ninth here at Constellation Field. Your Skeeters are trailing 9-0 against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, but I am joined by the man who came in and deemed himself Rally Stam. Tyler Sam, our general manager, our fearless leader, hopping in. Tyler probably has racked up over 50,000 steps tonight, I'm sure.
I don't know. I'm actually kind of curious. I'll pull that up. But, yeah, I just wanted to get here in the booth and see what we can make happen here.
Absolutely pleased that you've joined me as a former Skeeter. 23,000 steps.
23,000 steps.
Dude, that's
not done yet.
That ain't bad. James Loney up for your Skeeters. Works a 2-0 count against Andrew Johnson, a player Skeeters fans probably pretty familiar with, a longtime Skeeters reliever.
With the Road Warriors last year, right?
He was with the Road Warriors last year. He has a home now in Southern Maryland.
Good.
Waldorf, Maryland is now his home. But yeah, that was a rough go having to play for the Warriors, Road Warriors. I'm sure just always been on the road. It works a 3-0 count. He issued just 14 walks, the least on the team among pitchers with at least 20 innings last year for the Road Warriors. And James Loney looks at strike one there on the 3-0 count. So James Loney 1 for 3 on the evening. Or he's still only 1 for 2. We don't quite know how he scored it. Did you see when he was the first guy to kind of get on base via some of the new rules? as he hits that over to second baseman Nina, who bobbles it, gets it over, collects, and gets to Griffin at first base for the first out of the inning. But
to be honest, I have not watched any of the game. This is the most of the game I've watched.
Yeah,
right now.
For those that don't know, Tyler, he essentially is like the mayor of Constellation Field.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
He has like 30 million jobs. He runs around. He makes sales. He's just pretty much the Swiss Army knife of this organization, and I'm going to just brag for him. We'd be lost without him, so we're absolutely thankful he's with us.
That's so sweet. So sweet of you.
It's opening day, so in mid-August when I'm cranky, it won't be as nice. But
right.
I got energy today, so we're looking good with one out. Severio hits that one to deep left field. Tony Thomas looks up, and it's gone into the sport court. Juan Silverio breaks the shutout. A solo shot. And you can say he got a hold of that, Juan. A solo dinger for the Skeeters third baseman, and we will not go down quietly tonight. Good to see that scoreboard lit up as Juan Silverio with the solo shot that I believe kicked off the back of the backboard in the sport court there.
I hope not.
In left field.
But it was a shot.
That was an absolute no-doubter there from Silverio as Tony Thomas watched it go. So not going quietly into the night are your Skeeters as Juan Silverio hits the solo shot. Blue Crabs still hanging on to a 9-1 lead, but that's a nice. It gives you good taste in your mouth there, as it's been a rough night with the bats, and surely a sight for sore eyes. So that'll bring up Albert Cordero, the Skeeters catcher for the evening. Swings through strike one. So not a good homecoming for Andrew Johnson here, the former Skeeter right-hander. As Coco fouls that one off to the left side.
I'm just saying, rally Stam. It's happening.
He called it. Rally Stam is in the building. Tyler.
Our first run of the night.
I'm
here.
That's beautiful. So it's NFL draft tonight. Draft grades are a thing. That was my first home run call.
Oh, it was very good.
You think?
I thought you did great.
And Bob Merrill, our Vice President of Sales and Marketing, down there giving us some nucks. So, yeah, Tyler enters the building. They give my first home run call.
I thought it was very emphatic. It was beautiful. It was a bit brave, even.
Yeah,
it was good.
I broke out the Juan puns. Luckily, those are they're deep. There's a lot of Juan puns. So
that was a good one.
That's the first Juan I went to. That's gonna be obnoxious. So 0-2 the count to Coco, who hits that one into left field. Tony Thomas is under it in left center gap, right in front of the Jericho sign in left center, and he'll take care of it for out number 2. So Skeeters are down to their last out here on opening day against Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Dennis Phipps going to stride to the plate here as Skeeters DH for the evening. He is 0 for 3. Last at bat, he flew out to right field in the 7th inning. So I feel, at least for me personally, as we're not wrapping up, the Skeeters are going to score 8 runs here, but either way, as opening day comes to a close, I feel like things went beautifully today. Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, man, it was a beautiful day, full ballpark, which is what you have a job like this for.
Yeah.
It's just fun to get people back into the stadium and getting to see the people that have been, busy with their own lives during the off season, and
it's a good time, certainly, as Phipps grounds over to Garcia. He'll fire across to John Griffin, and that's going to do it tonight, folks. The Skeeters come up short on opening day. Blue Crabs pull off the 9-1 victory here at Constellation Field. We do thank you for listening. Just tune back in here in a few minutes. We'll give you a post-game show, wrap it up here from the Skeeters broadcast booth. As we mentioned, your Skeeters fall tonight to those Blue Crabs 9-1. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back into the Skeeters broadcast booth for the Skeeters post-game show. On a somewhat somber note here, the Skeeters fall 9-1 to the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs on opening day. Otherwise, an absolutely beautiful and exciting night. The ballpark was buzzing like we always love to see it. Like Tyler mentioned, this is why we do this. We love to see the ballpark the way it was tonight. Just only thing missing was that Skeeters victory. Let's give you the final line for tonight. 9 runs, 13 hits, and an error for the Blue Crabs. 1 run, 5 hits, an error for the Skeeters. Mitch Talbot got the start for the Skeeters through 3 1/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, allowed 2 home runs for coming from Tony Thomas and Corey Vaughn. A good job out of Michael Marriott and Lucas Irvin in relief. Michael Marriott allowed 3 runs, all unearned on 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, no walks. Irvin, 2 innings pitched, a hit, no runs, 2 strikeouts, and no walks. Daryl Thompson, the Blue Crabs legend, picks up the victory on opening day. He threw 6 shutout innings, had 7 strikeouts without a walk. Tony Thomas, Charlie Valerio, and Corey Vaughn all with home runs tonight in a 9-run Blue Crabs effort. Juan Silverio with the solo shot in the 9th inning to tally the only run of the night for your Skeeters. Well, folks, that's going to do it here from the broadcast booth. I really do appreciate you listening. This was my first broadcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll have plenty of baseball to be had this year. A tough night to begin in, but that's why you play 140 games. Tomorrow we're going to have a 7:05 p.m. start. Craig Stem, the right-hander, is going to go for the Blue Crabs against Connor Wade, the right-hander, for the Skeeters. And before I sign off, got to give a few quick thank yous to some people I couldn't have this broadcast go without. First and foremost, Troy Young, our video coordinator. Troy bore with me all offseason as a new broadcaster. Looked to find out the technical side of the broadcast, and he did a fantastic job. Was very patient with me. Appreciate you, Troy. Shea Villarreal was running the feed tonight, keeping the score up. Shea, also our graphics coordinator, has made countless graphics for me and also helped in the technical side of the broadcast. And last but certainly not least, Brandon MacArthur, who as well helped me put this broadcast together. They say we'll go back to the truck. That's my truck. Those are my boys in there in the control room. Without them, we would not have had a broadcast tonight, so I'd be remiss in not thanking them for keeping things going. But that's, like I said, that's going to do it for us here. Thank you so much for listening. Skeeters fall 9-1 to the Blue Crabs on opening day. We'll be back. Tune in at 7 o'clock for the Skeeters broadcast. They'll be taking on the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Have a good night, Sugarland.